Hello. Good lunchtime to you all. Thank you for joining us. This is an off-topic live stream. Welcome all. Hopefully you all enjoy it. And as stated, we have a special guest today. We have Heather. Heather is a former phone operator, adult fantasy phone operator worker. And she's agreed to do an exclusive live interview with us. So that is amazing. So it's a bit off topic for the defence rests, but we will have a shit ton of fun nonetheless. So just an adult content warning. If you get offended by adult language or themes, probably not the stream for you. But thank you anyway. And bring your curiosity and your questions and your sense of humour, and we shall have an amazing stream. So, Heather, not her real name, obviously, but because Heather is actually a fellow YouTube member, we are just concealing her identity a little bit because the audience that her YouTube channel, and I won't refer to it, her audience is mainly consists of minors, so we don't want any of this content getting back to her channel. So we, even though there's a lot of you in chat that actually know the identity of this person, just if you could keep referring to her as Heather, just as a precaution, that would be amazing. Thank you very much. So about Heather, she began working in this industry when she was 43. She became a single mum and wanted to spend a lot more time at home with her children, and decided that this was the best option, the best job for her at the time. And she did it for 9 years. She had a total of 17 different personas that she portrayed, 17 different characters, and I don't know how she remembered all of them, but she did. And yeah, so she did this for 9 years. So she's got an extensive amount of experience, an extensive amount of knowledge. She's extremely candid and upfront and not shy. So please ask any questions away. If you're curious, just be respectful. That's all I ask. And let's go ahead and bring on Heather. Welcome. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome all in chat. Hey, Gab.
Chat.
Hello. It's what is it? 10 p.m. over there.
Yes,
Carmen, I'm offended. Carmen, I have a lovely banner for you. Here you go. I prepared it earlier. All right. There you go. It's just just a precursor, a warning.
Plug.
Perhaps I should just leave that up.
That word.
Well, I didn't want anyone coming on and complaining, so I thought I'll warn you now. This is what it's about. This is what's going to happen, and if don't watch it if you don't.
I love the background. Brings back memories.
I bet it does. I bet it does.
And Cameron, please don't be offended. We don't want to offend anybody here. But no,
right.
seriously, I'm here.
Hey, Shy, welcome.
I'm here.
We have Shy and Carmen. Yay. And Bree, welcome, Bree.
Plug.
And poor AJ, she's a nana. She's got going on eyes. So welcome everyone. Yes, as I said, don't be afraid. Put your questions in the chat if you have anything you specifically want to ask Heather. But otherwise, I shall start. All right. So, tell us about you, Miss Heather. Why this industry?
Well, it's really funny how I got started.
Horrible.
I never thought, oh, wait a minute.
Hang
So
on.
now my camera is like, okay.
Sorry. I might have to change that screen setting. Hang on.
It's okay. T Waffles has taken up all the screen.
She has.
So while you fix that, I'll tell you. So I've been a single mom since my kids were 3 and 6. And I was in the auction business, which is here, that's
Better.
different. Which is a male dominated field.
Mm.
And so there was all these males and me. And being one of the extreme few females in the field at the time, and working with only males as the auctioneers. Now, there are other females, but not as an auctioneer. And yes,
This is right up your alley, Shy.
it's so funny. So they kept saying, you have the voice. You have that voice.
Mm.
And I'm like, no, I don't, They're like, yeah, you have that voice. And so they were like, you should do it. You should do it. And I was like, no, right. Okay, no. And I never even thought about it. But once I had all these men saying, oh, you should do it. You should do it. You've got the voice. I started kind of like looking into it and Googling it. And this was back, in 2000, I want to say 11, I think. And so thank you, Gabby. Gabby put that up for me. Thank you.
Yeah.
I started thinking, I'm doing these auctions and I have other jobs as well. And I'm like, all these jobs to try and put food on the table, and I'm not able to spend the time because I am all about kids.
Yep.
Y'all know. I am all about kids. And I'm like, my own kids, I can't spend the time that I want with them because I've got all these other jobs. I had like three big jobs, and I was just exhausted. So I just got on. That was right when the internet started picking up. And so I got on this new thing called Google and started looking into it to see
The
what
life.
it was. But the problem was that most of the phone sex companies that they do it, they wanted you to have a landline phone. And I had already been one of the very few who first started, and it was only because I couldn't afford to have a cell phone and a landline and all that stuff. I couldn't afford it.
What's a landline now? I don't.
Yeah, so I got rid of my landline, and now these companies are like, you have to have a landline, and they said because of security, so people couldn't hear you talking and stuff like that. And I was like, I can't do that. I can't afford to have the phone and another phone line, and I don't know how it's going to go. And so I just kept searching around, and I finally found the site that I went with, and that's Night Flirt.
Yeah.
And so that way I could be my own boss. I could have my own times, because a lot of these companies will say you have to work certain times and you have to
That was one of the
certain
things.
amount of time, and you have to have X number of hours a day or a week or whatever. And I didn't want that. I wanted to be able to work when I could. That way, if I wanted to go to something at my kid's school, I could. That when I had my own business, I did that, and I still wanted my own freedom to be able to do that. So that's how I found that.
So Nightflirt is the platform, like the server that you use to go through, that people ring, and then your identity is listed on there and they choose. Is that right? They choose who they want to speak to.
You go onto the site and you see all these little ads, little pictures and stuff. And so the caller will go on there and look and pick out whoever that person, whether it's the look that they're looking for or the category of whatever that they're interested in. And they would click on the button. It goes through their system. It calls them, which then they put in their credit card or they buy minutes. And so all the processing with money goes through the company. So once all that credit
they take their commission and you get the rest, or
right, yes. So once they get the credit card number and the person has purchased minutes, then it connects to me. And my phone rings, I answer it, and the recording tells me because I had multiple. I had 17.
who they want to speak to.
Yeah, but it's only one phone number. And so it would tell me who the caller was calling for. Now, it didn't tell me who the caller was, but
Not even a first name.
Yeah, well, yeah, it didn't say anything. It just said, you have a call for Heather.
Yep.
And so I could
Hi,
choose.
Christine.
Hello, Christine. I could choose whether or not I took the call. And if I wasn't in the mood to be Heather, then I could say no. But I'm like, okay, Heather. so
you could either accept or decline, regardless.
Right.
It didn't matter. Yep.
Right. And so when I accepted it, all of my characters would go listed up on the site as busy. So there couldn't be any crossover. Somebody couldn't be trying to call.
No interruptions.
Heather is on the phone. So then once the call was done, whether it was they ended the call, I ended the call, which that's a no-no. Because if I end the call, why would I do that? I would lose that money. So if you end the call or they run out of minutes. So if they ran out of minutes, it would just say hold while the customer, because it would give you like a 2-minute warning or whatever. And then the customer could choose whether or not they wanted to go ahead and add more minutes, or if they were done with the call. And so then you get paid every day. Every day you would get paid, but it would be like a week out. So the next week I would get paid for that day. Yep. So I did it for a long time. I started at.
Do you remember all of your characters?
Do I?
You remember all 17?
No, I was trying to. This is a long time ago. I did write down some of them. Some of them I did go back in, and some of my stuff is still active. There are some recordings on there that I still get paid for when people click on it.
Really?
Yeah, I still get paid for things that I did back in like 2011, 12, so I still get some, not a lot because I'm not active on there. So I'm not high up on their little thing. You have to search for me. But so I had Kinky Kelly. She was one of my big ones. Come Slut Heather. That's Heather. Heather was my.
Was she the first?
Huh?
Was she your first?
She was my first. Yeah.
Okay.
I started with
she
Heather.
was your cherry. Bless her.
I'm just imagining.
Come Slut Heather was the cherry.
Karen, it's not. Hold, please. What's your number? Trying to connect all the things, plugging in and pulling out. Yeah, thank goodness there was.
Yeah, whatever, Gabby.
Back then, Cameron, they heard. They could hear the conversation.
Yes. Were you did you have to upsell, so to speak? That's a good question.
Well, okay, so
to try and keep them online.
You could buy my pictures. So nobody knew who I was. I purchased models' pictures. And so there are lots of lots of females out there who take these pictures and they sell them, or the photographer buys them and then puts
Mhm.
it out. And so there's massive websites where you can buy all these things. And this is way, way before OnlyFans. So they would do it, and then the photographer would sell it. The model would get a cut. So, Heather was your first too. I bet she was good.
Mm.
So, anyway, I can't. I know. See, Cameron, you got me off.
Yeah.
I lost track of what I was saying.
So if they purchased like 30 minutes,
Oh,
they add on top
oh
extra
yeah,
and like,
yeah. Oh, I was
would you
thinking.
try and keep them talking for longer?
Yeah, they would run out, and then they would have to go back, and they couldn't up it while the phone call was going on.
Okay.
But the service would say you would just hold, then I would just wait,
Mhm.
and then they would reload their minutes, and then it would come back. But they could buy like recordings, they could buy pictures. I didn't have any video. Um, but I did have pictures, lots and lots of pictures. So whenever I picked a character, I had my character like Heather, I would go and I would get every single picture that that person had, all of them. Kelly, I'm glad I did that with Kelly because somebody else had just a few of Kelly, and my callers had been talking to me for a long time. And all of a sudden, because there's nothing saying that that person somebody can't buy those pictures and use them too.
Mhm.
So all of a sudden, these pictures of my Kelly was being put up with the name Brianna.
Oh.
And I had callers going, somebody's using your pictures. And I was like, oh, yes. Yes, I know, because I was always looking, because I learned from what other flirts were doing, looking at their ads, looking at their, who's making the most and what are they doing? What are they talking about? What is it they're into? And so I learned by a lot of that. So this Brianna girl, she had
Mhm.
pictures, but then she just had pictures where her head was off. And so it wasn't that model. She was just getting them off of the internet and then cropping off the head so she didn't have to pay for pictures.
Ah.
I had purchased everything that this girl has.
So she was cheating.
She was actually the model was actually Polish. And I had some videos of her, but I didn't have all the stuff like I have now. Like I could put voiceover or whatever.
Mhm.
I couldn't do that. And so you would hear her talking or whatever. And I had one customer saying, well, I saw this video of you, because she was out there, and you were speaking something funny language. I was like, "Oh yeah, I know." My
Someone's
photographer,
trying to impersonate me.
well, yeah, my photographer says that people who speak foreign languages are very erotic and very exotic, and people pay more for it. And so I was just saying gibberish. I was just making up stuff. And he believed it.
Of course I do.
So
So
Brianna, when they were telling me Brianna, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's one of my ex-friends." I didn't know it, but we were super, super close. And one day I
so
left.
she knew you and she still
No, I made this up. I don't know who this person was.
oh,
She just took those pictures, but she was using all the cut off head things. And then my callers are calling me and saying, "Hey, somebody's got your pictures." And I'm like, "Yes, I know. That's my ex-best friend." One day I left my laptop in her car, and she got in my laptop and took all my pictures, and they believed it.
yeah. So what was like the main topic people wanted to talk about? Like
Well,
was
it
it
depends. Like,
mm,
um, Heather was the fetish person. So I mean, all fetishes. And I'm telling you, there are fetishes out there that you would never even know was a fetish. Um,
really?
Yeah, there are so many fetishes. Balloons are a fetish.
Balloons blown up or
No, popping them, popping the balloons. They want to hear the squeak of the balloon and then the pop. Um, Balloons, sitting on cakes. Yeah, sitting on
okay
a cake.
with
And you don't
fishnet
have to make
undies.
it, just sitting on or stepping on a cake, making a cake, putting it on whatever in the grass in your driveway, on the kitchen floor, wherever. You would just move it in different places. And then you step in it. Either some people liked it with high heels, some people wanted bare feet. So like step in the cake and like squish your feet around. Yeah,
So
that's
you'd make the sound effects to that.
yeah, I would just tell them I was doing it, and then I would make sound effects. I never had a video or anything like that because I don't. My feet don't look like a college student's feet. I was 43.
So what was Heather's voice like? Was it different? Give us a
Heather talked really sensual. She was one. I think she was like 25 when I was doing her. She was naughty, naughty, naughty.
oh, I like naughty. I like
She did
naughty.
all kinds of things, and her thing was more stories. They would ask her things, and I I would just go with milking. Milking, yes, milking
Milking.
is a
What's
big
milking?
one. Edging. Um,
Oh, I'm really not that.
Milking is
Okay, you have to
exactly what you
educate
think
me.
it is.
Hmm?
Just keep milking is exactly what you think it is. You think
What,
about
squirting breast
your
milk?
Well, no, you're okay. Think about a cow, and you're pulling on that udder and pulling on that udder, and
Okay.
there's nothing
Taking them.
there left, but you want to get that last drop out, and we just keep on trying.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
so my daughter did
and
that
if
while
you
she
make
was
them do it long
breastfeeding.
enough, you make them do it long enough, they'll come again.
Oh my Lord.
Edging
What's grapes in a cup?
grapes in a cup. I don't
Mm.
see a lot of this language is not language that we used back when I was doing it. So a lot of things, edging is hot.
What's edging? What's edging?
Edging, I did a lot of edging. Edging
Okay.
was a big money maker. So
No idea what that is.
my dominatrix characters, they did a lot of those. So I had them where they were financial domination. Don't pay attention to you, Gabby.
Is
No,
that
that's disgusting. Ugh.
is that grapes in a cup or
I don't know. I've never heard of the grapes in a cup, but that doesn't mean that. I mean, because a lot of words have changed that we called it. Same. Okay. All right. Okay. I didn't know that. Um, just
okay.
cleaning it up.
Uh-huh.
Too.
What's that
Um,
called? There's a name for that.
see, with my brain, I
It's
can't remember.
Cleveland steamer. Cleveland
Mhm.
steamer, we call it. That one.
You call it. What do you
The
call it?
Cleveland steamer.
Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Golden
Mhm.
showers. Oh, had a lot of that. A lot of that. Some of them just wanted to hear you go to the bathroom. Just
Really?
it wasn't even about the goal. They just wanted to hear you go to the bathroom. So I would go and I'd get me a cup of water and I
And
would
pour
just
it in the toilet.
pour it in the toilet. Mhm. Yep. It's all sound effects. None of it was real. I didn't do anything, nothing. I had my children. My children knew that I was, and I was like, I gotta go make a phone call, or I gotta go take a call. I would take phone calls in Walmart, I mean, sitting in the drive-through at Taco Bell, and I would tell them I'm in Walmart, and they thought that was hot. They were like, "You're in Walmart?" I'm like, "Yeah." There's this old
Yeah, and
man. He is
I'm a
following me
naughty
around.
girl and I'm talking to you
Mhm.
right now.
Go
Someone's
too
looking at
far
me.
and disconnect. No, no. Never disconnect. Okay, so when I first started, I had a really hard time because I started off with Heather, who was the fetish person.
Mm.
And I had a really, really low rate. So I had what you would call the bottom feeders. They just wanted the cheapest thing, you know. And so, hello, Mel. Melissa Jane is also in Australia. She's one of mine. That's my girl.
Melissa Jane.
Yes, Melissa Jane. She's an Aussie.
Hello, welcome, fellow Aussie.
I told her, I was like, Melly, you got to come over.
Yeah,
Sent her the link. I was like, you got to come. She knows all about it. So anyway, I had a really hard time because I did get the bottom feeders, and I had never done this, and I was already nervous. What do you do? What do you say? I don't know. And so the first couple of calls were rough. I didn't know what to say. But they don't know me, and that's what I had to get in my head. They don't know me.
Yep.
They
You
see
are the character that they want to hear.
Yeah, they see that picture, and I just became that picture. That's it. I became that character.
And did they evolve? That character
evolved into I think the car that she drove, the school that she went to. I mean, everything. The job. So Heather drove a powder blue Volkswagen Bug. She was a dog groomer. She worked for a dog groomer.
They have personalized plates, CUMSLT.
No, but she was
Moneymaker.
really kinky. I mean, like really hardcore fetishes. So when I first started, and I did get those bottom feeders, they would start to say really mean things to me. And like call me a fat cow, and you're worthless, and a lot of them did that. You're worthless, and you're no good. You have to be on here, and I'm like, at first, the first couple of times I heard that, I mean, I hung up and I was in tears. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I had to go, wait a minute.
You rang me,
Who called who?
Yes.
Who called who, and who's spending the money?
Correct. You don't have to be here. I'm not paying you to be here.
So once I snapped out of that, it was only like 2 calls. It didn't take long. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Played on that.
So when they would say that, they would call me a pig or whatever, whatever. And I'd go, I would play the role. I'd go, okay, you told me that, or whatever. But never, ever. And so we hang up. We had a forum where the different flirts could talk. And there were these same people that would be doing this and get the flirts all upset. And all the flirts were going, well, just hang up. Just hang up. And I got on there and I was like, y'all are stupid. Don't hang up.
No.
Or send them to me. I'll listen to them.
Use it to your advantage.
Because I want the money. And so all you had to do, okay, memento. So it was their kink to insult you. Yes.
So capitalize on it.
To put you down, say these horrible, horrible things to try and, degrade me or whatever. And, how terrible it is. And you can't get a man. You have to be on here. And I'm like, no, this is a job for me. You are a wallet. That's it. You're paying my bills. My daughter and I went to Greece. They bought my house.
Wow.
My house.
It was that lucrative.
Yes.
So what would you average like for an hourly rate, so to speak?
It depended. It depended. So like when I started, it was super cheap. I mean, literally it was like 50 cents a minute. It was cheap. But then what I did was I was like, okay, I had goals. I'm like, okay, once I've had 50 calls, I'm going to go up 10 cents.
Oh, okay. So you set the price per
Yes,
minute.
you set the
Okay.
price.
Yep.
And so I would reach another goal, like another 25 calls. So when I had 75 calls, I would go up, go up a quarter or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I kept going up and going up and going up. And then I got into the financial domination stuff where it was $50 a minute, and then I'd hang up and they'd have to call me back. $50 to call me. I would talk to them for a minute and then I'd hang up and they'd have to call me back. And there's a game. There's a game that you would play, and that was part of edging. So you talk to them and you start
When you
off
give
at
them a teaser.
$4.99. Start off at $4.99. Or maybe I started at $2.99. Start off at $2.99. I don't know. Start off at $2.99 and talk to them for a minute and then say, okay, if you want to continue this call, you better call me back. And I'd hang up. And then I would change the rate real quick while they're going back through the connection thing. I'd change the rate and go up to $4.99. And then I'd talk to them for another minute or so, and then I'd hang up. And then I kept raising the rate and raising the rate. And that's what it's called. It's called raise the rate. And so I would just keep raising it. And you knew that the $50 was your goal. And so you would try and keep edging them, and you would hang up right before, and then you'd hang up, and then they'd have to call back. And then
So what was like your best days of earnings for one day?
Oh, who knows? I mean, because you could keep them on the line doing that a long time, just because they would be calling back. It's calling back. So that one, what was the rate? It started, I believe that one started at $2.99. You could start it at whatever you wanted. I believe I started that at $2.99, and then it went up to like $2.99 or $2.99, $4.99, $5.99, $6.99, $8.99. It just kept going up and up and up. And then it would jump big because they were really getting into it, and it would jump from like 10 to 20 to 25 to 40.
So once you've got them on the hook, you just reel them in.
Yeah. You just get them in there, and you just, and that would be edging. You would just edge them, and then you can tell, and then you just hang up.
What edge them? What is that, like a side hustle?
Do what?
What's edging?
No, edging. Edging is when you take them and they're right there at it. And then you stop.
Okay.
Or with the domination thing, you would get them going, and then you wouldn't let them. You just like, nope, you better not do it. You better not. And if
you hold on, I'm not
if
done.
You do it. I'm hanging up. I'm hanging up if you do it. And next time it's going to cost you more. So if they called back and say, like, I wouldn't know that it was them, and I kept notes on them. We had notes, and so I would know, and I would say, oh, I was like, yeah, you came. I told you not to, and you did. So if you want to talk to me, you got to call me back. And I'd hang up, and I'd raise the rate, and then they'd call me back.
No, I don't know about edging. No. And I thought I was a well-educated woman.
You know about it. You just didn't know that's what it's called.
Probably, yeah. I've done it before, but I didn't put a name to it. Yeah.
Yeah. They would have to ask me, can I? Yes. I did. That's the financial domination. I did a lot of that. I say a lot. It wasn't like a big thing, but I had a few callers that's all they wanted, like the raise the rate thing. I had some of them that was the financial domination. I would make them write lines. It's called writing lines. And they would call, and I would talk to them, and I was like, okay, so what's wrong with you? What did you do? I know you did something. What did you do? And they would tell me, and I was like, all right, so you have to write. And I'd say,
do your dominatrix voice?
I promise I will not touch my cock until you tell me to. Mistress is my goddess. And I'd say, okay, you have to pay me $25 to read the lines that you wrote me. And they would email me the writing so I could see that they did it. And then so they had to prove it, and they had to pay me to open the email. And so
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
so anyway, that was all in the FinDom, which is
So did you have a
financial
specific
domination.
dominatrix voice?
Yeah, that's when you get really like stern.
Yeah, come on.
No,
What the
it's like,
different
what's wrong
voices?
with you?
What about accents or different
I
languages? Did you have
did. I did different accents. I would mostly change the tone of my voice. So I had younger ones. So I had the college student. I
go
had
on
one now.
examples?
Hmm?
Examples.
Examples.
Yeah,
It's
college
hard
girl.
for
How
me
did
to
you
put
speak?
it on and stuff now because it's been so long since I've done it. Heather is easy to do because you just drop it and talk really soft,
Yeah.
and she was my storyteller. I'm really good at telling stories, I'm very creative. They would start saying something like, "Hello, governor." No,
Then you get
I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I could really turn on the Southern accent because I'm from the South, so I would just make it really heavy. Um, yeah,
That's a
no,
good question.
no, it's a business. When the McDonald's workers, they can't just you get turned off on it. You don't. I
Yeah.
don't know. No, I was just, in fact. That's when I started doing my YouTube stuff because I could do my YouTube stuff and I could be editing videos while I'm
Oh
talking.
my
I'd have a
God.
headset on and I'd be talking or watching TV. All my TVs, even now, so I got used to it. I would have all my TVs would be on mute with closed caption. So I could sit there and listen to them and just, whatever. And just, just talk, just nothing or moan. Oh, yeah. And I'm reading the television. Oh, the best part was football. There was a football game on, and my team was like, it was really,
Oh, and
really
you're like, yes.
good. Yeah, and I was like, go, go.
No, no,
Yes,
not you, not
yes,
you.
yes, yes, yes. It was football.
So
It
did
was
you
a
have
football
any,
game.
like, all of your personas, were they all female or did you have a male?
No, no.
Oh,
I had T Girl Princess, who is a transsexual, was had the nice fake tits,
mm.
but still had the nice big cock that they wanted.
Ah,
And I had two of them. I cannot remember what the other one was. I remember um, T Girl Princess. And that one was, that person was Hispanic. So I always tried to do different things because different people like different things. So I had an Asian person who was, I don't know anything. I couldn't talk about that culture. I didn't know enough. So, this person was actually from Texas because when I bought these pictures, I had to have their ID to prove that this person is of age.
mhm,
So I had her credentials. I knew. And so I was like, well, I'm just going to go with that because it would be easy for me to remember. So
yep.
I just said, I didn't use her name or anything, but she was from Texas. And so I just said that I was adopted. Because they're like, "What's your heritage? What are your parents?" I was like, "Oh, I'm adopted." Because I didn't know, and somebody could call me out on that.
Yeah, if you'd
No,
forgotten.
she's this, she's not that. And I don't wanna offend anybody. So I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm adopted." But that a lot of people up in Texas. She is from Texas. Yes, same old horse ride a cowboy. Yeah. Now the transgender ones, I had a lot of fun with that because even though I was
Back to that one,
playing
sorry.
the female role, physically it was still a man that was gonna be coming.
Yeah.
So I got to act out like some of the men that I have been with.
So you
I
had
drew from that.
plenty of content to work from.
I was like, "Oh, I always thought it was, this one that was very vocal and everything." And I was like, "Well, I need a vocal one." So I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna mimic him."
So you did your own voices. You didn't have like a voiceover app or a
Oh,
voice
no,
changer.
we didn't have any of that then. It was all on a phone. I had a headset. So if um, I would just had like you would put earbud, you know how you used to plug it in or whatever.
So you
I had a
couldn't talk
microphone
to
that
the
I would
mic
just plug in.
this or anything. You had to make it up as you went along. So
You could do some killer stuff now. I was looking at the site and I was like, oh wow, look at it now. It is really evolved. I had to learn code and everything just to get my page out. Did you ever
Bloody hell.
struggle with capitalizing on people's loneliness? No, because
They chose to be there.
well, and it wasn't just that. It wasn't all sex. It wasn't all sex talk.
Oh,
There was this one guy, and I've talked about him before. There was one guy who was a truck driver. He would call me and talk for hours and hours and hours,
while he was on the
either
road.
while he was driving, just because he was lonely.
Yep.
And so he would just, you know, call me, and talk to me. We talked about, his truck. I mean, it wasn't sexual. There was nothing. And he would call me if
So he
he was.
wouldn't even jack off while he was driving.
No, oh yeah. Can you imagine? That wouldn't be good. Lose your job really quick on that. No. So, I mean, he would just be bored and lonely and driving down the road, and he was all over the United States. So he would tell me, I was like, so where are you going? Where are you? Well, I'm headed your way. But now he wouldn't be able to stop. I did have one guy who was just so loved Kelly. And he lived in Louisiana and was going to come in. He was flying, he was taking a trip, and he was going to, oops, wrong gear stick. Anyway, this man, his name was Jimbo. So Jimbo was coming from Louisiana and he was going to go take a vacation in Maine. And he was flying in to an area which is really close to me. And he was like, "Can you come see me?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm going there. I've taken a layover there so that I can see you." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I've got class because I was in college." I've got class. And he was like, just for a little bit, he said, I've got a long layover. I made sure there was a long layover so we can eat and we can hang out and all that stuff. And you can come and sit with me and everything. And I was like, well, I'll try. And then, of course, I had to have an exam. I couldn't make it. I was like, I can't miss my exam. And he was like, okay, well, on my way back. Yeah, no. I can't meet you because even if I met you, you'd go, who are you? Are you your mother?
That's
But one time I put 2-foot double-sided trash not the lid because the trash guy kept knocking my trash can into the muddy ditch. He jumped and so
That's hysterical.
I'm surprised he didn't take it with him. That's so funny. Yeah, no. 2 2 foot.
You disappoint.
Uh,
So
so,
there wasn't ever like, did you have regular people that would
all the
call
time.
in or stalkers
Yeah, in
or?
fact, when I was looking, I've got Kelly pulled up now, which I didn't even know. I was like, "Oh, this is cool. We didn't used to have this." I can see my customer list. I the last let's see, wait a minute. Hold on, where's my money? Hold on. Lifetime. Um, Jimbo, he spent $3,574.53 on me in a year. In 1 year.
So tax
Let me see.
returns,
Hold on a minute. I can
claimable
tell me when he
items.
started calling me. He was a regular. Do what?
What were your tax return claimable items?
Yeah. He would call me. I don't know. He would call me every once in a while. So it wasn't like a daily thing or whatever. Um, let's see. That was just in 1 year that he did.
So you didn't have anyone that would call regularly on a
He
Friday
called.
at
He
6
called me
or
124 times. Okay, so this guy, he called me 124 times, 3,424 minutes. That's what he did. And he was not a big one. He was just the one that was going to come up here and meet Kelly. But and he would send her stuff. So I had a PO box and he would send her stuff. And I mean, this is sweet if you think about it. I was like, oh, because I would have a sore throat or whatever because I'd been on the phone forever, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, your voice sounds really rough, or like if I didn't change it to the right pitch or whatever, and he get caught it. And I go, oh yeah, I'm just my allergies or whatever. And so he was sending me vitamins.
oh my God.
He's like, oh, this grapefruit seed is really good. And he would send me vitamins. I had an Amazon wish list that people would go in there and buy stuff off the wish list. He was very concerned. He would send me, he sent me something, but see now, well, okay. So Susie was my youngest. Susie,
What was
I
like
had to
your
be really
minimum
careful
age
with her.
limit?
Do I?
What was the cutoff, like the age limit?
Well,
The youngest?
Susie, I never said her age. I lived at home I was still in school. Um, when there were issues, I would say I was 15, and I actually put 4 people in jail with her.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. 2, yeah, okay. 4 people in jail because of Susie, because they came to see Susie. Yeah, no, that's not happening. So, yeah, I was Hanson. I was
Oh.
that.
Well, so they were asking for like children.
Yeah, so people would send
Oh.
me things. I've had videos, pictures sent to me that were of children. And so I, of course, reported all this to ICE. And ICE isn't just drugs or whatever, it's anything that crosses borders. So because they were sending them and everything, I reported that, and I worked with them for many years. And I had to stop because there was a really bad ring, and I hate California for this, that I had been working on. And that one was with Heather. And I had to listen, and he would be on his computer. And of course, I've got all this government stuff on my computer now that's tracking, recording everything, recording my phone calls. I had to go through all this legal stuff. And yes, ICE was really good. So I had to do all this stuff the legal way. and we got all of this information, all of this stuff, and they knew where they knew where he lived, they knew where he worked. We had all of this information. It wasn't just one. Sorry, my daughter is
It's all right.
texting me. Hold on, let me tell her I'm on a stream. She didn't know. On stream. Hold on. Because she'll just keep texting me. So we knew all of this, and it was a ring. It wasn't just this one person. We found this one person, and we were collecting information on a ring. And ICE wanted to go in, and California said no.
Why?
They said they couldn't go in. And we were like, I had done everything the legal way. I had all the information. We knew they even got they got his credit card information and all that through Night Flirt, which, I mean, they had to go through major legal stuff to be able to get that.
And they never got charged or
right. We had all kinds of warrants and stuff to do that. And so the federal government had been working with this and everything, and they went into California, and they're like, okay, we want to go in, we want to get his computers and all this stuff. We know these people and this person and that. And California said no.
so
And
the federal government couldn't overrule that.
Yeah, probably they are. Yeah. And this was a long time ago too. This was when was this? This was like, I want to say maybe 2015, I want to say, when that happened. And I was like, I can't do it anymore, because just looking at it and listening to it and having to pretend that I liked it, it was awful. So I was like,
the federal government couldn't override them at all.
No, because they have their own rule. Like they couldn't. They're protected in California.
And you were in California, is that?
Mm-hmm. They're protected. So I hate California. You know, now my son. What the heck?
Maybe
they never text me. They never say anything.
They're watching
until I'm on somebody else's stream, and then they are like,
eyes on.
Now I'm telling my son, and they're back to back. What's up with that? At least I know my other son's in bed.
So did your kids know about this now?
Oh, my kids knew when I was doing it.
Oh.
I just had to explain. I had to explain to them, because they're going to hear stuff. I mean, when I started this, I was living in a little apartment, and I would try and do it mostly when they were asleep or when they were at school. And so, you know, I would try and make it so that they wouldn't hear it. Like I would a lot of times I was like talking into my pillow.
Oh my God.
I know the people above me were like, dang.
Your kids are outside playing drawings and stuff, when you're in the bedroom going, yes.
Then I would go to my car. My car became my office. So I would, if I knew, like somebody was like, hey, I'm going to call you at such and such. And I was like, okay. Or I was like, I'll have my line open at whatever time. And I would just tell my kids, all right, I'm gonna go take a drive. I got a call. And they're like, okay. And so I would go up to the grocery store and sit in the back part of the parking lot, facing where I could see everybody, because I'm not going to be bored. And I would just sit there in the parking lot and make sounds and talk shit and whatever and make money while I'm just watching the people. Watching the people do their grocery shopping, going through restaurants and everything. Yeah, I would just sit there and watch them and talk. I think I did. Isn't that the girls that start doing that? That sounds really familiar. I do have brain damage now, and I have forgotten a lot of things. So that's why I was like, okay, I pulled up this stuff, and I was like, oh, I can look at this, and it did remind me of some things that I had forgotten about. Like I had forgotten about writing lines and that kind of thing. I had an ignore line. That was cool. That was great.
To ignore them.
An ignore line. Yes. They would call and they would pay like
To be ignored.
$4.99 a minute. And all I would do was answer the phone call and say, I'm too busy, and then put it down. And then they would hear me vacuuming, or I would just turn on the television. I would just have on the television. They just listened to the television. I didn't say a daggone thing. I would pick up the phone and say, I'm too busy to talk to you right now. And I would just put it down and let them do whatever. Or I'd be in the kitchen and I would just like make noises in the kitchen or whatever. Because you needed to have them to hear something, So they were like listening. What is she?
I really got to do this job.
Props to you. I couldn't do it. One crossword. I'd be like, you'd say to me their lines and send them their own address. No, I always told them that was the one thing, and this is what most people use phone sex for. One is they're lonely and they just want a friend to talk to. They just want somebody to talk to. And like the truck driver, I mean, he had a girlfriend and he was telling me he was so excited. He told me I knew when they were going to get engaged. He was so excited to call and tell me, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go pick out the ring. And then I was like, tell me what the ring looks like and all that stuff.
So you never actually befriended any of them? And
not in real life, on the phone. Yeah, nobody knew who I was. Nobody. Never told a soul.
So you were able to keep that emotional disconnection.
Yeah, well, because the person who they like is made up.
No, but like say even the truck driver, you didn't establish a friendship.
I can't remember who he was talking to. I think he was talking to. He might have been talking to Kelly. I don't remember who he was talking to. I had so many of them. I had a housewife. I had a housewife who I made up her whole thing was she had 2 small children. And her husband traveled all the time. And she really thought that he had another life. I said, I really think he has another family. And they're like, well, are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, he sends money to pay the bills, but that's it. He's never here. And then I'll go, oh, he's coming home. He's coming home. I'm so excited he's coming home. And then they call the day to come. I'm like, nope, he didn't. He said that he had to stay at work for whatever reason.
So they would call me to rescue.
Yes, they would call me because they felt like, oh my gosh, and I'm like, I'm so lonely. I'm so lonely. And so then there was another man, and he was like, my wife doesn't even want to look at me. My wife won't touch me or whatever. And so he would just vent to me and I would vent to him. And that was all that was. That's all it was.
So like, what was your creepiest request? Can you think of?
I can't really say creepy.
Weirdest.
Odd, huh?
Yeah.
I had some odd ones. As an angry woman ever called you? Oh, I've had a couple of women, and this was funny. Okay, so I had one woman call me, and she was upset, and she was like, now this is funny because I can't tell you how she doesn't know that he called me. She just called the number. It's one number. So there's no way she would know unless she went in his computer and he had marked me or something. I don't know. So I was like, I have no idea who her husband was. If I actually
rang you to have a go at you about her husband calling you.
Well, yeah, this one called me and said she was really upset. I mean, she was like heartbroken, upset, not angry, but heartbroken. She was like, I don't understand. Why would my husband call you? Well, I don't really know if her husband had called me because I don't know who her husband is and I don't know who these people are. So I couldn't tell you. And there's no way, since you're calling 1-800 number and then it's connecting and all that stuff. I can't tell you, or my extension. How does she know what my extension is? How does she know who he called? I don't know. It didn't matter. But she was heartbroken.
So what
And
did you say
so
to her?
all I said was, I was like, look, it's not, just think about it this way. He's not cheating on you. He does not know who I am. I know nothing about you or your life. All I know is sometimes men will call me because they can say things to me that they would never
Say to
say
anyone else.
to their loved one. And I said, and she's like, I don't understand. And I was like, well, they can call me and cuss at me and vent and yell and call me a dirty bitch. And
Get it off
I'm
their
okay
chest
with
and
it. I
done.
said, but he's never going to say that to you.
Yep.
She's like, well, why would he want to say that at all? And I said, well, because sometimes that is what kind of gets them going. But he's not going to tell you that because he's got you on a pedestal and he loves you. He's not going to talk ugly to you. So he calls me because he can say whatever he wants to me. Kink is healthy. Yes, some of it is. Some of it is so out there.
Go on. I want to hear more out there stuff.
Diapers are out there.
Really?
Yeah. They make them. I had one
Like
guy.
the baby thing, or
Well, yeah, kind of. Yeah. So I had several actually, but I'll tell you about this one. So he would call me and I would say, have you changed your diaper yet? And he would say, no. And I was like, well, you know what that means. And he was like, I know. And he would be all pitiful. And he had to wear it. He had to wear it dirty. If he doesn't do certain things or whatever, I would make him wear it. And if he was good, I had to like describe, everything is description. I would have to describe about changing him. And so it was just a
and wiping his butt and
do what?
Wiping his butt and cleaning him up.
Yeah,
and powder on and
putting powder on him and, popping his little butt, and here it's all clean now. Yeah, it was that, just like what you would do. Oh, good boy. Let's put the powder on you. It was all that.
What's DDLG?
I don't know what my brain doesn't work anymore.
I don't know what that is, Shy.
You need to spell it out. The dirty, the diaper thing is pet play is too. Yeah, I had to be
pet play.
I had to pretend like I was a horse or let's see, horses.
What do you mean pretend like you're a horse?
Oh, I had to pretend like I was a pig one time. They were like, yeah, and want me to snort or whatever. Horse
Not like
play.
as in
Horse play is very popular.
So it wasn't like a horse fucking them. It was
no. It's acting like a horse. Like they have the whole thing with the head to make you have like a mane, wear a bit in your mouth, and they would pull you, and you would have to trot and all that stuff. Oh yeah, that's
daddy dom little girl. That's what
very, very common. That was a lot of that was with my two younger ones, which were Kelly and Susie. That was a lot of the daddy thing. No, I didn't have anybody ask for animals. Now that was okay. So there were two no-nos on the site. One was underage, and that's why they were like, "Oh, they'll listen." And I'm like, "They're not listening." But I had ICE that I worked with, and so I would never say an age. But if they kind of wanted to keep going down, when I started doing ICE, I had to explain to ICE that just because somebody fantasizes about it doesn't mean they're going to act on it. And I can tell the difference by the way they are talking and the things that they talk about. and the excitement that they get out of it. There's two different kinds of excitement. So, anyway, I had a lot of that where, a babysitter, I'm the
Yep.
babysitter and I'm coming over,
A lot of
and
role playing
the
stuff.
dad is going to take me home, A lot of hoods on the car kind of thing on the way home. Cigarettes. Oh, I'll buy you cigarettes and alcohol if if you'll do this for me. Don't tell your dad. I won't. Will you
Oh my God.
please? Will you please get that for me? But the one with the diaper thing, I didn't even know this. I mean, I learned a lot. There's bathhouses out on the West Coast, and there
There's
was
what? Bathhouses.
bathhouses. Yeah, and the guy would go into a bathhouse and he would find a room, and I would make him sit in the room, and then I would tell him what to do. Like, this was one of the diaper guys, and other men would be walking by the door, and I would tell him what to say or what to do when the man came in the room or was whatever. So he was on the phone with me or put me on speaker and had the speaker thing. And so I would hear the conversation between the men, and then I would tell them what to do. Instructions. And my instructions were like
explicit,
out there.
detailed.
Oh, well, no, I would say, now get down on your knees, because I would be the dominatrix person. I was like, get down on your fucking knees. Or, if he had his diaper on, the guy with the diaper, because there were several that went to the bathhouses. And you could hear it was weird sounding. It was most of the time there was like an echo. So you could hear like there was like an open room kind of thing. And I would just tell him what to do. And then I would tell the other guy, I was like, okay, now give him a number, tell him who to call, and you better call me within an hour. And the other guy would say, yes, ma'am. Or yes, mistress. They always said, yes, mistress. Yes, mistress. I got people from doing that. I shouldn't say people, guys.
And you just keep them coming back like,
mm-hmm. Well,
I told you to ring me in an hour.
I would get so that I would know their voice. I would know. This is why I can't do it now, because I can't remember. I can't remember what their fetish would be, to recognize their voice and remember all the details. Now, I always kept a story. So once I started with a character, that character became real. Heather was real. That's why I could tell you right now. I could tell you what school she went. I could tell you the color of her car. I could tell you what she did for a living. I could tell you everything, because I created this person. It would be talking like your sister or your best friend or whatever. You know that person. You know what that person drives. You know what they did. I described my house. Susie's house. I described my best friend's house when I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
And I just described that house and gave her a pool. I gave her an above ground pool that I had to clean.
Because your mum told you to.
I know my dad. I know, but see, I had an affair.
allowance.
I had an affair with my dad's best friend. Yeah.
You dirty whore.
I know.
Dirty, dirty little whore.
I did. Did you ever consider becoming a dominatrix in real life? The thought did go through my mind, but then I was like, but I don't want anybody to know who I am. No. Good money. It's really good money. And dominatrix, it's not about sex. It's them. You don't have sex with the people.
You just boss them around.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect.
Yeah, there's a lot of so the diaper thing was just weird. That was weird. What else did I do? Another funny one. A funny one was shrinking the person.
What?
Shrinking them. Like, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, where you make them really, really little. So
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, you know that movie? Do you know that
Yeah.
movie? Okay, so it was like that. You're hired. All right, bitch.
Yeah. Get on it.
I know.
Get on it, Heather.
I know. It's kind of, I would just have to believe that you're doing what I told you. I would make them send me pictures. Like panties. Oh, panties is a big thing. Making them wear panties. These men want to wear panties. I literally said this. I was like, I honestly don't care what you do. You can do, everybody's got a kink. It's fine. It doesn't matter. But I did say this. I was like, if I ever come in to my bedroom and see my boyfriend or my husband wearing my panties, it's done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, no.
Because I would make them do that.
Or
I would make
sniffing
them go
them.
to the store and I would make them try them on and take pictures of themselves in the dressing room.
Oh,
And
my
then they had to
God.
go out while I'm on the phone and I had to hear them talk to a clerk. Do you think these look good?
Oh, my
Oh, are you
God.
getting them for your girlfriend? No, they're for
So many
me.
things you could do. Oh, my Lord. That would be so much fun. You could, no, now get out of that dressing room in those undies and you strut around that store and you walk up to that,
Yeah,
that
I would
lady
tell
at the
her.
desk. And, oh, my God. That is
Step
so.
outside. Now, I'm also very protective of customers and children, of course. So I'm not going to tell them, I was like, okay, go into the dressing room. And they're like, go into the dressing room. I'm like, yes, take those panties in the dressing room. And I said, I want a picture of you wearing them. And then I want you to go up to after he's done that. Then I was like, okay, now get dressed. I want you to take those panties up to the clerk. And I want you to ask her, hold them up and say, do you think these look good? And on me. And the clerk's always like, yeah. I said, and then you purchase them. And then I would make them wear them to work. And the biggest thing, I had
And then call me on your lunch break and tell me.
I had a judge. I had a judge who I made wear. I would
Under
tell
his
them
robes.
under his robe. He had to wear the panties. Yes. And it just tickled me because all I could think of is he's up there dealing with these criminals and stuff. And he's got the panties that I made him wear. And he would send me pictures to prove that he was wearing them.
Oh, God. Every
And
time I
see,
do
when
a
they would send
trial
me the
now, I'm going
pictures,
to watch the judge and wonder if he's wearing
I know when they would send me the pictures, they had to pay for me to open the email to see them.
Oh, my God.
So they're paying me for me to tell them to do it. They're paying me while they're doing it. They're paying me
To report back on it.
prove it to me. They're sending it to me, so they have to pay to send it to me, and then they have to pay for me to open the mail. So every little thing.
And what about sniffing panties? Anyone have
Sniffing panties?
sniffing
Yes.
fetishes?
They would want to buy my panties.
I bet so. I bet they would. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, no.
And did you sell them?
I sent them panties.
Worn or just?
There was one guy in Australia. Oh my gosh, the stuff I sent to Australia.
Did you wear them and send them, or did you?
No, I am not the size of a 15-year-old or a 20-year-old.
So you just bought brand new panties and sent them.
I would go to one of the discount stores and I would just get all of the little, the little thongies and all that. Yeah, no, I'm not wearing that. And I would just send them to me, and they just thought that I would just wad them all up, get them all wadded up. Yeah. Send it to
Rub them around your butt crack.
I didn't even do that.
I said the same thing, Gabby. Yeah.
I didn't even do that. I just took them and I had them I just kept them in this tote box thing, and they would tell me, I was like, what color do you want me to wear? And they would tell me. There's one that loved polka dots.
What about
whenever I saw
farting?
polka dotted panties, I bought them.
People want you to fart.
Oh no! I mean, you can say that you did it, but That's all I did. I was like, yeah, I wore them. I wore them for 2 days. And they're like, they're great. And so I'd send them to them, and they're like, oh, these are great. And I'm like, okay, you want some more? Mm-hmm. I spend $1 on a pair of panties, and they'd have to pay me $25 for them. I'll send them to you. What was my favorite kink to enact? My favorite. I don't know. I kind of did enjoy the shrinking one because I would make them run around.
Got off topic there. Go on.
It was funny. It was funny. And I would always make them run around. I would chase them around with a vacuum cleaner. I would capture them under a glass and make them dance. And all I could think of is when my kids were little, the show Magic School Bus, where they would shrink down and they would get in the bus, and then they would be swallowed, and they would go through the body and everything. So that was a thing. They were like, I would swallow them, and then I'd pee them out.
Ah, really?
Yes. Giantess, that's what she knows.
Yeah, no, Shy's studying what is it, sexology or something?
Oh, you're Cameron's. Oh,
yeah,
okay, I got it.
Carmen.
Yes. I had fun with that. Well, I'll be just vacuuming. I'm like, he's like, I'm like, no, I don't know where the person is, and I'm like vacuuming. I'm like, oh, there's the vacuum. They would want to be in my pocket. They would want me to carry them around in my pocket or put me in their purse. And so I would put them in my purse. And if Heather was doing it, Heather smoked, because I had pictures of Heather smoking. And so Heather smoked. And I was like, here, just sit on my cigarette box. Or I'd put them in the little, he had a little pocket. I'd stick them in the side pocket. And I was like, okay, duck down. We don't want anybody to see you.
Oh my God. Carmen, I thought I was a worldly woman. Like I've said before, I worked as a nurse for 12 years, and then I did my own beautician business for 15, specializing in like Brazilian waxing and stuff. So what I haven't seen, I've heard, I've wiped, I've poked, I've inserted something into, I've smelt, I've had shit thrown at me. I thought that I've had an experienced worldly view, like, you know what I mean? I've been exposed to quite a lot of stuff, but fuck me.
No. Okay. So there's one thing that is going around now politically. And when I hear it, I just laugh. Because it's so stupid. And why? I'm sorry. I'm a Republican. I'll talk about it here. But why the Democrats have decided that they want to say this shit about Vance just cracks my ass up. They're saying that he had sex with a sofa, and I'm like, yeah, I've made him do that. And I'm like, he would not say, yeah, I had sex with a sofa, but has Heather ever made anybody do that, or one of my other characters? Yes.
I don't think I'm vanilla, Carmen. I think there's
a lot.
I don't think I know the names of what you're referring to, like
right.
Like the new names for it.
See, I can't tell you all the names now. I can tell you about it. I can tell you they love to be hypnotized. Being hypnotized and turned into a female. That was funny. I loved that one. And that one was very relaxing. So I would just talk in a very soft and hypnotic voice and take you through the whole hypnotic thing about relaxing and counting back and thinking about going down the stairs. And as you're drifting down, think about your head and your hair is starting to grow, and it's growing longer and longer, and your face is forming more into a more feminine look, and your cheekbones are getting higher, and your eyelashes are getting longer, your lips are getting more volumulous, whatever that word is. And then I would go down, and I was like, and your chest is getting tighter. It's getting tighter. What is happening? Oh, you feel it. It's filling up. They're just filling up. Oh my God, your tits, they're growing. They're getting larger and larger. And then, and so then I've got them with these big ass tits. And then you go down and your hips, they're forming. You've got more curvature. Well, I'll see these in video. Australian slang.
Yep.
Yes.
You do
But
that.
I talk about their hips curving out and going down, and then their cock. You always have to say cock. Cock. Your cock is, which means nothing. That's just like saying bread to me. So, so it starts to shrink, and it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and it's gone. It's gone. You no longer have it. Oh my God, you have a pussy. So you design this whole female, you've created them into a female. And then once they're female, you're like, you will stay female until I say, and it's me. So until I say, and whatever word it is, whatever word is going to bring them out. So then I bring them out of it. I bring them out of the hypnosis, and I'm like, so how do you feel? And this one guy, I never will forget this. He's like, I feel like wearing a sundress with a parasol. I was like, oh yeah, because that's what we women do. We wear sundresses with parasols. So I just tell them, I'm like, all right, now you have to stay like that until I say what? He's like, I don't know.
What's the magic word?
About? Like it's real. I was like, okay, well, you need to call me back. And he's like, yes. And then, he'll hang up, and then later on he'll call back, and I'll go, so how was your day? Oh, it was wonderful. Oh my God. Yeah, those were fun.
So you reckon dominatrix was the most predominant role you played, or?
No, just really what I would just go by whatever their fetish was. They would just start it. And
what did you enjoy the most? Like which?
Well, I liked the shrinking one because that was just funny. The creepy one, I mean, I say creepy. I really, the diaper one, I'd be going, okay. I had one guy that wanted me, he liked trash bags. He wanted me to take my girlfriend is a virgin.
You need to give Heather a call.
Hey, I'll give you my number. I can turn on the night flirt right now. I don't even know what it's set at. I don't know what price it's set at. I'm a lot more expensive now.
Mm-hmm.
My cheapest is $2.99 a minute now. But no, I have one guy with trash bags, and he wanted me.
What?
It's just odd. Yes, he wanted me to take trash bags and to make an outfit out of it. And I'm like, you want me to do what?
And that was a fetish.
Trash bags, and I want you to make an outfit out of it, and I want you to wear it. And I was like, okay. So I was like, hold on. Okay, so hold on. So
Go to
went into the kitchen
the third drawer and get you.
while I get something to drink and all this other stuff. And I come back to my room because I had to go downstairs. Yeah, in my tiny little apartment. I had to go downstairs to get the trash bags. So, because you're trying to keep them on the line, I'm not going to do this quickly.
Yeah.
What Mel knows, I've told this before. So I go down and I get the trash bags and I come back with a trash bag. And I just crumbled the trash bag up so he could hear it.
Mm.
It's all sounds. That's what ASMR is. So I make the sounds of the trash bag and he's hearing that and he's like, okay. And I was like, so now you want me to what? He was like, I want you to make an outfit of it. So I was thinking, how the hell? And I'm like, okay, you're really creative. So I was like,
out.
okay. So I made a top. I cut the top. I cut a top, head, a place for the head in the bottom of the bag. I cut some armholes in it. I used the tie. I made that into a tie for, to cinch it. And then I took another trash bag and I cut it and I used the tie as a belt. And
They
then
had top and bottom.
I braided that to make it fancy. And I just cut out the bottom. So I had a skirt and everything. He's like, okay, now I want you to roll around in the bed. And I was like, okay. And so I'm just standing there with the trash bag and I'm just taking the trash bag and I'm just like rubbing it on the bed, scratching it around. Did I cut my trash bag? Hell no, I didn't try to cut my trash bag. I'm not wasting a trash bag. I'm not putting it on my body either. Whispers, don't pass it up. Pick it up. Oh, yeah. So the trash bag thing. Then I have one guy that went like inflatables, like beach balls and floats and all that. And that's kind of like the balloon thing. He literally, it sounds hot. Yeah, I'm not wearing it. But the beach, I would just literally went to the dollar store and got a beach ball, and he would want to hear me blowing up whatever it was, and I would tell him it's a
No, Carmen.
it's a it's whatever. I would just make it whatever. It was one beach ball that I got at the dollar store, and he would want to hear me like the sound of my hand or whatever, or he wanted me to rub it on my body or whatever, and then he would want me to pop it. And so I just had balloons because the people like to hear the balloon pop thing. And I would just wait until he heard that. And then I would pop the balloon. So I wasn't popping a big vinyl thing that cost me $1.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's been sleeping since 7:59 p.m. Oh, I didn't even see Ash is here.
Yeah, I spoke to her last night.
Yes, hello.
This
Ash.
morning, your time.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't been able to talk and read all your stuff. So anyway, came to talk some some juicy talk, yes. Ash, did you hear when I did it on that other person's channel? When I kind of shocked them, they're like, "Wait."
Hey, yes. So
Heather,
the people in chat that like I don't know what age limit, what they are, how old they are. So I'm assuming that they're adults.
Ash is fine,
Okay,
and Mel is fine. I haven't seen, my kids aren't coming in here. My kids don't know where I am. No, Gabby told Ash, and I told Mel. So yeah, Grandma
Okay, cool.
After Dark. She shocked me on that channel. Yeah. They were like, what? This conversation is slippery. Let's see, what else did I do? Oh, there was a lot of the cuckold stuff. That was kind of fun because I would just make them do stuff, and I would just say that I was having sex with some, they always wanted me to be with a BBC. That was a big thing. It was a BBC, and
what's a BBC?
I was like, a big black cock. So I was like, yeah, he's much better than you. And I would just call him my wallet. So my cookies is what you call them. My cookies, I refer to them as my wallet. I was like, you just fucking need to go to work. You go to work, and while your ass is at work, I'm going to be taken care of the proper way. I'm going to be screaming so loud, the neighbors are going to wonder what the hell is going on. And then I'd say, I'll call you and let you hear it. And so I was like, because I'm like, oh, it's so good. Your ass needs to be working. And there was a lot of that, then they come home and then they have to clean me up. No, but hey, whatever. Do you get into it as well? No, it is a job. I was like, that's why I was like watching TV. I watched TV. I was doing videos. I was editing videos. No. Or my kids would be in the next room. I would come out and do laundry or I'd tell my kids, okay, I'm gonna take this phone call. I never knew how long it would last because I didn't know who was going to be on the other end. And sometimes my daughter, they would slide me notes under my door. They would write stuff, and my kids were younger. So they would write notes on my door, and I kept it from my son for a little bit. But then there became a point where I was like, I got to say something because all these sounds, and we are living in this small apartment. You're like, okay. So I was like, look, I am just in here talking junk on the phone. There's nothing. I am mom. There's nothing. I do not know these people. They do not know me. I am talking shit to people on the phone and they are paying me to say dirty words. And so that's it. And so they learned. They're like, it's nothing. And so my kids are like, it's nothing. It's a job. It's like,
absolutely.
It's like working at any other place, And the thing is, people do that shit for free. I don't know. You want me to talk dirty to you? I'll talk dirty to you. But actually, that was the other two. So I had 3 females call me. One was upset, and I had to say, look, it's just he doesn't want to say these things because he puts you on a pedestal and he loves you. So that was the one. But the other 2 that called me, they had boyfriends that wanted them to talk dirty to them, and they had no clue what to say.
Oh, so you instructed them?
Yes. And so they were like, so I figured we would call, both separate people were like, I'd call a professional and see if you could teach me what to say. Is it possible? Can you tell me what to say? And I was like, oh yeah, it's really easy. It's super easy. And they're like, tell them to do a Dutch rudder.
What's a Dutch rudder?
Puppies. I don't know what that is. I mean, it's the language. I don't know all the different terms.
I know, yeah.
I don't know the different terms anymore. I don't know what the Dutch rudder is. I mean, I probably do, but I've either forgotten or whatever. But so I did. I told them it's simple. It is very simple. So y'all, here is a class on how to talk dirty to your mate.
Yeah, come on.
So females.
Teach us, madam.
Females, it's more the females don't know what to say. The guys just say it. The females don't know how to respond. So all you have to do is when the guy is going to start it, he's going to say something. And all you really have to do is repeat it. So really, so just go with what he's saying, So if he's saying, oh, I your tits. Oh, you just say, oh, you like these tits. I know you want these tits. You want them bad, don't you? So you just go with what he's saying, or he's like, I'm gonna make that pussy so wet. You're like, oh, you want this pussy? You can make this pussy sopping wet. And I mean, go with that. You just talk. You like this wet pussy, do you? Yeah, I know you like this wet pussy. You just repeat. I like your wet pussy, or oh, your pussy so wet. Oh, you like that wet pussy? I mean, it's just you just repeat what he says, but you say it in a more seductive way. And if you're just repeating his own damn words, he don't care what you're saying. He doesn't care. It's
No.
just the words. And if you say cock, cunt, and pussy, you say those 3 words,
Boom. Game over.
they love it. Now, the only
Did
one.
you tell if they were like getting close?
Oh yeah, you know.
And then
I'm
you
on the
back off?
phone. I'm on the phone, and I can tell you, I have been on the phone just as like real me, like dating, like talking, like you do online dating and stuff, and I'm
Yep.
talking to the person on the phone. And one big thing to get me not to go out with you is while I'm talking, just regular talking to you on the phone, kind of trying to get to know you, stuff. Yeah, the 3 C's.
Yep.
To get to know you and everything.
Send me a dick pic.
I know I am so in tuned with listening to a male on the phone. I'll hear them doing that. I'll know that they're doing it. I'm like, motherfucker, are you kidding me? We are just having regular phone calls here, and you think I'm going to go out with you when I know what you're doing?
That's
And so
why I
I'll call
stopped
them out
going
on
on
it.
dating apps, because
I'll call them out on it. I was like,
within
I'm
2
sorry, but that's really rude. And they'll go like, what? I'm like, it is really rude. I'm just talking to you and you are jerking off. I'm not. And I'm like, yeah, you are. Don't call me back. And I'll hang up. That's just
I stopped
awful.
going on dating sites because within 2 sentences they're like,
But see,
send
all
me a
I can
picture,
think of
or
is,
can I have you?
if you
Can I
want
send you
to
a
do
dick pic?
that, you have to pay me. Sorry. You don't get to do that on the phone for free unless we are in a relationship.
What is that? Hit you with the
That's
3
3
Alabama whammer.
What is it? When a guy comes up to me, I just say,
stranger
stranger
danger.
danger. I need an adult. I get in your car and go home with you. Oh my God. Stranger danger. Mm.
Yeah.
I got
Why
it.
is it that guys feel the need to send you a dick pic? Why?
Oh, I've had lots. So they have to pay me to send them to me.
Yeah, but like, no, even just normally, if you know, on the
Oh,
dating
yeah,
app, so to
no,
speak, just,
I had one guy do that to me, and I literally was like, I call him out because, see, I don't get offended like that.
no, but
I don't
I know
care.
guys are more visual
Lord,
than
I can't
women, but
even tell you how many dick pics I've seen in my life.
oh yeah,
I can't. I've probably had 100,000 calls over the 9 years that I did. So yeah, and the emails and all the stuff. Oh yeah, no, I've seen plenty. But to get someone to send that to me, I'm like, I will literally call them out. I'm like, oh my God, you are so fucking rude. Don't call me again. And that's it. Or don't, I call them out on it. I'll tell them, because if I let them get away with it, or if I don't say something, they're
yeah.
just going to turn around and they're going to do that to somebody else who is very offended or gets very upset or traumatized by it. Because who wants to see that when you open up your text message? Hello.
So why do you think they feel the need to do that?
I don't
Like
know.
a bloke?
I don't know. They're just douchebags. But most men aren't like that. But you're gonna have some, low lifers that are gonna do that. I appreciate the language. However, I watch a lot of kink. Yes, YouTube channels, and I want y'all to be careful because I've seen too many get banned, censored by YouTube. Oh,
Okay.
because we're saying the actual words.
Well, I'm not monetized yet, so
Yeah, she's not monetized.
and
So
if they review
they're
me
not really watching her.
later on when I do get monetized,
Then you have to really be careful.
I can delete this later. That's not a problem. But
Put it in your. You've got members. You just put it in your member thing. You have to pay to see this. See?
I haven't, because I'm not monetized. I can't get memberships or anything yet.
Yeah,
So.
but I mean, when you are,
Oh, I can put it behind a paywall.
behind the
Yeah.
paywall. Yeah. My husband
Nice.
heard the 3 C's and came in. And was like, what did you just say? Well, we want him to stay here for
Hubby's
a little
husband
while, so
sounds
I'm not sending
hysterical.
him again because he'll say, "Come on, girl, we getting
Mhm.
busy."
Say my name, bitch.
Yeah, no, we had talked about that before because we were not worrying about it because since she's not monetized, and I couldn't say it on any of my channels. Oh, I could have done that the After Dark one. I could do it on that one, but I'm not. I don't need to. Y'all have fun with it.
So there was never anything that you were like on a phone call that you felt really, really inappropriate and like, I can't take this call, apart from what the stuff you were saying before with ice.
Just California, that one, and that was there was a
So,
mission. There was a mission on that one. So even
so
though
kids was the cutoff. There was nothing else that you thought, no, I can't deal with
just
this.
like when I said at the beginning, when they would be telling me how horrible I was and how just really degrading, that upset me at first until I was like, wait a minute, you're paying me.
Yeah.
Whose bank account is getting fatter? And so if I didn't want to hear it or whatever, I would just put the phone down. I never would hang up. Oh, my goodness. So many people fall asleep on me. They would fall
Suck at
asleep.
YouTube, daddy.
And people would say, well, just all the flirts would tell each other when they fall asleep, hang up. I'm like, why? Why?
Yes.
I'll just mute it and turn on the TV because I don't want to wake them up. I just let them sleep. And then they'll wake up. Hell, I fell asleep on them. I'd be so asleep. I would be phone call, and they would just be talking. And then
Thank you.
they would be saying stuff, and I would fall asleep, and then there would be a pause, and I just, I just woke up in a moan.
So did they ever ask you to like masturbate and do like?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, because don't you know this is real, and I was doing all the things that I said I was doing. Mm-hmm.
So was that a really common theme?
Oh, that was a lot. Sound effects. So they would want me to spank myself or whatever, and so there's a lot of.
Mm-hmm. Did you have like an array of sound effects?
Yeah,
toys and stuff around you?
I had some like floggers and stuff.
What's a flogger? A whip?
Yeah, I had my cat o' nines, and I would just take it so you would hear the pop on my arm, or on my leg or whatever. I would just do that so they could hear it, and they liked that. Lots of sound effects. Yogurt or pudding cups or yogurt cups, and a spoon, a plastic spoon going in and out. That sounds good. Or this.
Yes,
Did that.
Mm-hmm.
It had Tootsie Roll Pops, and you take a Tootsie Roll Pop. That sounds really good. That's a really good blowjob sound. I would just take the Tootsie Roll Pop and go in and out, and it would make the sound. And of course, your mouth would be getting all watery because of the Tootsie Roll Pop, which makes it sound really slobbery. And
Yeah.
so you just do that, and so that made good sound effects. I do have audio that I sold, which is still active on there. I still get paid with people when people listen to that stuff. And that's there's one, the blowjob one. Oh my God. I can't even tell you how many times I have sold that thing. And all it is that's it.
So it wasn't just phone calls. You would sell audio. You would sell panties. You would sell whatever they wanted, pretty much.
Yeah, all the pictures that I had of the girls. audio stuff. I told a story. There was one that Susie was talking about. Susie was asleep. She was my youngest one. Susie was asleep, and he sneaks into a room. I think this was supposed to be like the stepdad or something. I don't know. Babysitters and stuff, sneaking into your room and watching and coming up to you, and and I pretended like I was asleep, but I really wasn't. That story, I listened to that today, and I was just cracking up. We're
gonna have to go through that off stream and have a listen.
I was listening to it. I was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. And I'm like listening to it, and I was just sitting here busting out laughing, go, oh my gosh. And then I was like, oh, that was pretty good.
So you've got
many years ago.
It's still on the site now. You can actually still.
Yeah, I listened to it from the thing. That's when I was like, oh my gosh, because I can go in here and I can see.
Play us a little snippet of it.
Can
we hear it? Just a little bit.
Let me see if I can find. Wait a minute, I'm on Kelly's. Let me see if I can find the one files. Let me see if I can find the blowjob one. Oh, it's loading. The site is totally different from what I'm used to. So I was just like clicking around. I was like, oh, okay. It's way better than it was when I was there. But I still got all the stuff on here. How can you find there's all the pictures. Oh, there's a video. Oh, that's Kelly.
Is that all,
no,
Gabby?
I want Heather.
Try an F.
Do it.
Gabby's a double D.
Oh.
Welterweight.
I'm whatever size I need to be.
Yeah.
Some of them like really small ones. Some of them like them large. I was like, I've got something for everybody. That's why I did all. I had that. There's a fetish with little people, and I had 2 of them. One.
Oh, really?
So funny. Yes. One, when I didn't realize that she was actually like in porn, like she was in some videos, and I bought her stuff, and I had these pictures and stuff up there, and somebody's like, oh, I've seen your videos. You're hot, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, you have? And I'm like, oh shit. So then I had to go listen to how she talked. She talked. And so I had to go listen to her speech patterns and her accent and everything. And I had to get as close as I could to the way she spoke, because I was like, okay, she's out there. So I have to, if I'm on the phone, I can at least say, oh, it's just distorted or whatever because of the phone or whatever, I can say that. But I had to at least get her speech pattern and her accent kind of similar. But yeah, so there's a couple of them who were like, oh, I love your videos. And I was like, well, thank you. Thank you. But I had 2 little people. Of course, they didn't call them little people. They went with the M word. So that's part of it. And she did too. But I called her, what did I call her? I called her Mini Maya. She went by Maya. So I kept her real name, because I was like, okay, well, she's out there. People know who she is. So, okay, we got to keep her name. So it was Maya. I had Ms. Shelley. She was, so the new thing is to be all hardwood floors down there. And she was the total opposite. She was all natural, like all natural.
The big fucked up 70s afro muff.
So I had different ones. I had one girl that smoked. Her big thing was smoking. And so I've never smoked, but I know what it sounds like on the phone. So I could,
yeah.
And I'd have a lighter, and I'd flick the lighter so they could hear.
So she got off on smoking. She got off on smoking.
Yeah, a lot of guys like it's the whole phallic thing of a
Okay.
cigarette in a
Yeah.
mouth and everything.
And
And
the
so
old
I
after
would,
sex cigarette.
yeah, so I would fake it, and I would act like I was smoking it, and I would make the sound of the breathing and the exhaling, and the puff part, and
So
I would,
someone's getting off on me right now.
yeah, but it's the cigarette dangling. They liked to have the
Mm.
dangling cigarette. They liked that. Cigarettes dangling, and shoes, high heel shoes dangling off of toes.
Ah.
Yeah. What else? I'm trying to think of. Let me see what else I got. The shrinking thing. Oh, torture. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
The torture one. I got
Okay.
really creative on that one. The worst one with that was somebody. This wasn't just one person. Okay, so these are like multiple men would ask for this. So what they, I would always say, like, they wanted me to cut it, and I'm like,
Hang on. Hang on.
yeah, like,
Hang on. Back up. What were we talking about?
yes, taking a knife, like, and I would say a fillet knife, like, because it's really thin and it's small. Take a fillet knife and just drag it across the skin, take it and slip it into the tip. Yeah. Yeah.
Cut their
Oh,
cock.
sounds. People, that was a big one too.
They
Taking a
wanted you to cut
sound.
their cock.
Yes, taking a sound and sticking it in, I would just say, your pee hole, and sliding it in and twisting it as it goes down, all the way down. Yeah, that's big. It's using a sound.
I used to get paid to do that.
Yeah, well,
Nursing.
that's a big one. Putting the sound in there, but then they would want you to cut it, or take rubber bands and stuff and bound up the balls and stuff. And I would say, yeah, put another one on there. Now I want you to pull it and smack it. And I was like, I would make them do it so I could hear it. I want to hear it. It sounds horrible.
It sounds like
know. I was like, what? And so then after the first time, and I can't act like I'm shocked when I'm hearing it, but I'm like, you want me to do what? And I'm like, oh yeah. So I got so good with whatever they said. I never would react like I reacted like I did it all the time. It didn't matter what you would say to me. Roll around with a trash bag, rods. Yeah, sounding rods. Yeah.
Are they those rods you hold up that's supposed to take you to water or something? Or
oh no. These are like medical. They had like a spiral thing too, and you just slide it in, and it just slides it all the way in, and it's like, yeah. Yeah. But then taking rubber bands and bounding it up. I don't want my little palm abused in any way. Well, I wouldn't want to. I in real life have never done that, but I can talk about it. I can describe it. Like, that's the thing. Is
I just wouldn't want to damage it in any way.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Do they really want you to do that? No, who really? I don't know. I wouldn't think so. But it's just the thought. It's the torture. It's the, I can't do anything about it. She's got me tied down. Is he really tied down? No, he's not. He's talking to me on the phone. Is he really doing it? Well, I don't hear him screaming or anything. I hear him jerking it off.
Yeah.
It's a mind thing. It's amazing what people in your head you think of. I mean, that's why I had to explain to Ice, just because you think about it and you might get turned on by it doesn't mean that you really want to do it, or you're really going to act on it. So like the R word against a female, that is something that no female actually wants to happen, but it is a huge fantasy thing. That is really common. And it's not about that violence. It's about not having control. It's about you don't have
There's
any
a whole
control.
psychology behind it all.
Yes, it is. And that's why she's studying that. So it is in your mind. It's you have no control over anything. If I was a woman, I'd be gay.
Do you know how many times I've heard men say that?
But it doesn't mean if a female has that fantasy, that doesn't mean that she really wants that to happen.
Mhm.
Or like the daddy daughter thing. So if a
Oh,
female,
really?
huh?
Daddy daughter?
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh,
big too.
God.
But that
Oh.
doesn't mean that she really wants to be with her father. No, it'd be more like a father figure or an older person, or just, it's the thought of someone who is a caring, loving person, and you just give up all of your give up everything and become submissive to that person. The act of surprise is pivotal. Yes.
But see, when I think of my father, I don't think of being controlled or.
But that's real life. We're not talking. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. Just because we'll just say we'll say me. Okay. So if I had the fantasy of the daddy daughter, we'll just say daddy daughter thing. That doesn't mean that
They want their
I
father to
want to
fuck
be
them.
with my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
nothing ever happened in my life, in my childhood, or
Mhm.
anything that was, anything sexual or anything. I never nothing. But that would not mean that I want to, or if I had the fantasy of, being ard, that doesn't mean that I want that. No female wants that. That's an act of violence. What that fantasy is actually, it in all of these, like the torture with the guy and all of that, does he really want that to happen? No, it's
The
more
idea of it.
psychology of, I can't do anything about it. They can do whatever they want. I'm tied up. Are they really tied up? No, he's talking to me on the phone. But I'm telling him, there's a whole thing with boxing, the guy just wanting to beat me up, just punch me in the face. Okay. Does he really want to do that? No, he probably has some aggression against somebody, and he's not going to do it. So he can just tell me. Age regression offers stress. Yes, yes, yes. You can take it, but that's why they have
That is masturbation.
the baby stuff, the child. I can't remember now. My brain's not working. There's the littles. So the littles are adult people, and they'll sit on the floor and just color. Okay. Do they really want to be? But no, they just want to get away from whatever it is that, an attorney that just doesn't want to deal with this anymore. I just want to be a little kid, sit on the floor, color, and do what I'm told. Does it mean that they really want to sit there in diapers and drink out of a bottle and do nothing? No, because life goes and you can't do that. But for a couple of hours to be told, I just want you to sit there in your little bonnet, in your little, your little cute whatever, here's your little bottle and your passy, and I want you to color or whatever, Yeah, it is all psychology. And sometimes it is from trauma from childhood, from things that have gone on, whether, for whatever it is. Sometimes it is that, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just a getaway. Yeah, I don't think he really wanted me to take a fillet knife, but that's what I said I did,
No.
and he loved it. Or taking rubber bands. Did he really have the rubber bands? Some of them did. Some of them did. I would tell him to take string and just take strings. Or mainly it was, how many rubber bands can we get on there?
Oh.
Yeah. And they would be turning blue and purple, and they would take pictures of it and show me. And I'm like, oh, that's not really good. You ain't going to be having no babies because that's not healthy, but you know. BDSM is more about escapism than anything. Absolutely. It's just a way of getting out.
But what's the
It's like
definition of normal?
Bondage, just bondage being tied up. Oh, I've got this. This is what I would use. This is, I couldn't find all my stuff. I hid it because I was going to be giving stuff. I've got like some stuff that I use for sound effects, but I hid it because my mother and father were sleeping in my bedroom. And now that I have brain damage, I have no clue where I hid it, because I hid it really good, because I was like, they're going to be snooping around. So this stuff is really good.
Oh, what's that?
So this is a bondage tape.
Oh.
It's just this is
like a
really good for
latex
sound effects. But this just wraps around itself and it sticks, so it's not going to hurt you. So anyway, you can just take this, tie somebody up, and is this gonna be bad? No, but just, and it doesn't have to be tight or anything. But it keeps you from moving. You know, that's why people like tie you down to the bed or whatever. You know, that's fun because okay, now I can't make you stop. And then the guys like to do the edging thing to the females too. I mean, the dominance thing. Okay, or you come when I tell you to, and you just holding on and holding on. Yeah, they would do that to me, and I would just go and watching TV or whatever. And then when they say, "Okay, come for me," and I'll go, "Ah!" Thank you. And I'm like, well, you could have let me go for a little bit longer because I need the money.
Can't just do it on demand. It's not as easy as a bloke.
Well, I can do it on demand, and whenever you're ready for me to come, I can make that noise. Threesomes and restraint is top 2 common. Yes. Threesomes and restraints. And just because they don't talk about a threesome all the time, just because they're talking about it doesn't mean that when it comes down to it, they actually will. Yeah. What guy doesn't think about a threesome with 2
Oh, I
women?
know.
If they say they have it, they're lying.
Absolutely.
I'll say a straight male.
I should have put that in the poll.
Of course. They're thinking, oh, yeah, I'd like to have 2 women. But when it comes down to it, would they really do it? Some would, but not all. Not all men would do that. No, it's fun to think about. Well, heck, for a girl, for us
And most
females,
men are
it's
like,
nice to think about
2
guys.
females, 1 male, but
just lay back and just take care of me. Yeah, just go ahead. Y'all, both of you. One on this side, one on that.
Yeah.
One up here, one down there. Yeah, y'all just take care of me.
Absolutely.
Would I
Been
do
there,
it?
done that.
No. I wouldn't. That's a good thought.
But blokes are like, they'd be into the, 2 women on him, but then if you change it around and say, all right, well, I'll have the 2 blokes and the female in the threesome, they're like, oh no, I don't want, no.
Well, some of them will. I've known some guys who have, and I was like, some of the auctioneers, and I was like, you did that with him, because they love to tell me this shit. Oh, so when I started and I finally they kept telling me to do it, you should do it, and I was like, no. And so then one day, and this is like a year later, they came up. Have you ever seen how to grapefruit a man?
I don't know what that is.
I'm trying to. Well,
I'm not sure.
There's a lot of stuff with fruit. Anyway, one day they came up to me. One of the auctioneers came up to me and said something about, you really should think about doing that. And I was like, who said I hadn't? And his eyes got big and said, "What?" I said, "You said that I have it." And then they're like, he was like, "Oh my God." Oh my God. So then it all went through all the guys. They're all talking about it. And then they were really, so then they were actually ones that helped me come up with some of the names and some of the stuff. They would say, then they would come up and they were like, "So how's Heather doing? How's Kelly doing? Have you, who worked last night?" You know, they wanted to hear about it. So that's what I would do when I'd come in before we did our auction. I would stand around there and find out who did what the night before. You oh, sending a TM to Heather. Okay. I got it right here, so you can send it to me.
Can
Yeah.
you play a little bit of the audio from that blowjob?
Let me see. I got this is. Let me. Okay, wait a minute. It was Heather.
Explain, Shy. Explain, because I don't know what the grapefruit trick is.
I'm not even straight, and I know the grapefruit trick. Hold on. I'm pretty sure I know what that is, but I'm not positive. Hold on. Heather. Where's Heather?
With or without lube, Gabby?
Files. It's pulling up. Hold on.
Pineapples. Someone was telling me about pineapples, or an upside down pineapple is some symbol yesterday, and I can't remember what it was.
Now, this is my bonus technique. You can only get this technique in one of my classes, but I want to share this with you because I believe every man should get.
Hang on, pause it, and I'll
I think
boost
I've
the sound.
actually seen this girl before.
I just boosted it.
So what you need to do is you need to, of course, have a grapefruit.
Take grapefruit.
Make sure you get the ruby red.
Sweeter is easier. Get the ruby red.
Is this on?
I'm watching this video that Ash.
You can share the screen if you want.
You want me to? You want to share? It is. It's on YouTube. Hold on a minute.
You can share it.
Hold on a minute.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes.
Hold on.
Hi, Steve. A little bit off topic today, but having fun. Oh, okay. Hang on. Let me.
I want to share this with you because I believe every man should get grapefruit. When you grapefruit your man, it's going to feel as if.
Can y'all hear that?
Not very well, but I'll boost it.
So what you need to do is you need to, of course, have a grapefruit. You want to make sure you get the ruby red. Sweeter is easier. If you are allergic
ruby red grapefruit.
For your medication, you can always use a large navel orange. Now, what you want to do is make sure that the grapefruit is room temperature. All you have to do is put it in warm water. Do not microwave it. Do not boil it. Then, once it gets to that temperature, all you need to do is roll it. The reason why you want to roll it is because you want to juice it up a little bit. The juicier, the better. Then what you're going to do is you're going to find the navel. There's 2 navels to the grapefruit. Once you do that, you're going to place it on the plate.
I know what this is.
Outside. You want to take a knife.
I've told them to do this.
You actually want to cut one side of that navel off. Now, all this that you're doing, he will not see any of this preparation because I'm going to tell you that a little bit later. It's a trick. You're going to take it to the other side and do the same thing.
You're going to make your own flashlight is what you're going to do.
2 sides missing just like this. Now what you're going to do is you're going to put a hole in the middle of the grapefruit, approximately the size of your man's penis. Do not make it too big.
Oh.
You're making your own flashlight.
What you're going to do is you're going to take the knife midway down and make sure it goes all the way through. All you want to do is make a nice hole in the middle of the grapefruit.
Cut out that center part.
Sort of like a porta pussy.
Yeah.
Now, if you take it and make it too big, that's okay.
I was going to say, that's awful big. It's very girthy.
Tight, push the flesh back.
Nothing wrong with that.
When you grapefruit your man, he has to be blindfolded. There's no ands, ifs, buts. You came to the bedroom with a grapefruit. What is your man gonna say? What are you gonna do with that? Is it gonna burn and all that other thing? So you don't want
Like a hot apple pie.
to do. Say, baby, you know what? Tonight I want to do something a little freaky. I want to suck you in blindfolded. Your man will blindfold himself if he knows he's gonna get some head.
So do you put it in the microwave and warm it up first?
No, she said not microwave because it'll be too hot. Just warm water. Just put it in some warm water.
Okay.
So what you're gonna do is just suck his dick. That's like you said.
Oh, you go, girl. You can go deep though. There was no gag.
Wait for her demonstration.
Up and down the shaft, suck the head at the same time.
Yeah, you got to do the twist. The trick's in the twist.
Now, ladies, remember, grapefruit is also a fat burner, so you actually losing weight.
You're losing weight. It's an exercise.
It feels amazing to him.
You've got to twist the head at the same time as the twist in the wrist, though.
It's gonna twist it.
Yeah.
Looking at you like, what the hell are you doing? But
I suppose that'd make it taste a bit nicer too.
what I'm thinking is, and that's the grapefruit technique.
That's it.
That's gold. Gold.
That's so funny. That's funny.
Holy shit.
That's
And
funny.
as you watched that, you knew.
Yeah, as soon as she stood up, I was like, oh, and I actually have seen her.
I'm gonna throw up. And was that on YouTube?
Yeah. Hold on a minute.
And they think we're gonna get demonetized or
I can't get monetized because you're not monetized.
no, but like they think we're gonna get
Or dinged.
yeah.
They're-
It was on YouTube, Tanya.
They're not going to do anything.
No.
That was educational. That's allowed.
Yes.
It's
Yep.
educational.
Fair use. Fair use.
Educational. It's
Mhm. Yep.
Something you won't
Candlestick.
find on YouTube is using a candlestick, and a condom to train it.
Ah.
Oh, that was something. That was another thing. Was candle. So wax, dripping wax.
Ah, the hot
and
wax
everything.
dripping.
Yeah, the body heat to make you more comfortable. That's funny. Honestly, a woman putting that in pleasure pleasing your man is very thoughtful and attractive.
Mhm.
And though I wouldn't want,
Absolutely.
you wouldn't know.
You never know until you try.
You wouldn't. Well, see, he'd be blindfolded. He wouldn't know. He wouldn't know. Yeah, no, I've seen her. That's funny. I've got a cream that tastes like an orange grease sex party. Oh my goodness. Ashes, yep, it's still up on YouTube. This is funny. My favorite, your fave loop is banana
I
flavor.
think I'm vanilla, but I've been to sex parties. And I still didn't know what this bloody grapefruit thingy was.
I have been to some BDSM clubs. I have. I've been to them, and I literally told them that I was there for research. I did not participate. I was there, and I just and I told them, I was like, look, I do phone sex, and I don't know these things, and y'all do, and so I'm here to learn. And they were happy to let me know. I learned a whole lot. I learned about a violet wand. Yeah, I mean, violet wand. And that's old. That device has been around forever and ever and ever. And it's funny. I actually have one now, but I use it to get wrinkles and stuff off of my face. It's just got an electric static thing. It helps your hair grow. It helps all that, but they do it for other things. Yes.
We have something over here. They have bachelor and they have quite a few different. What is it? Oh, my brain's gone dead now.
I just remembered this. Heather.
I think
Heather is
name.
actually Australian. And I just remember that. Heather is actually Australian. I don't know why, but this thing's not popping up. We were watching that and Heather's thing never come up. I shall try and see if I can find
Actually little spinsters, I think, and then they have angels and demons parties, and then we have like an outback thing where everyone turns up like it's called a ute muster. So they go out to some big property somewhere in the bush and they take all their utes, you know what a utility is? Utility truck?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
With a tray, and they put their swags and stuff in the back and they have this concert, and then it becomes this massive big party / orgy type of thing, I think. Just
I can't. The only one that I can find was the audio that Susie did, and it's really hard to hear. So you wouldn't be able to hear it on here because I would have to play it through the speaker. It was on a really you had to think it was back in 2011 on an old phone. So it was not. I mean, listening to it on here, it wasn't good, but they don't care. They don't care.
What about a story?
I wanted to play the one that the blow job that I did with Heather. I wanted y'all to hear that one because it sounds really good, but when you know it's just a sucker. But I can't. It won't pull up. See, and I don't know. It says file manager. And when I go to file manager, it says attachments, and then it says, it doesn't show me. Oh, wait a minute. Those are the pictures. Hold on, maybe I can get it through here.
Can you share the screen or not?
Yeah. Hold on.
Dear Mum, I went from a preacher's kid to licking the cat to dating a soon-to-be clinical sexologist and attending BDSM parties. You're welcome. Good job, AJ.
You're welcome.
Watch that on the replay.
You're welcome. These pictures are.
Don't you worry, Carmen. Your mum's got it in her. It's there. She just it's hidden. She hides it very well, but it's fucking there.
What? Oh, I think I had friends of hers. I can't remember now. It's been so long. I can't remember. I'm trying to see. Y'all can't really see. I'm looking. I've got that up there, but these pictures, you can't see them anyway. 28. Oh, my birthday. It's when I turned 28. Oh, here you go. Here's one. You can show that. This is she did a lot. She did a lot of really like heavy kink. So that's where you take these little needles and you put these little needles in, and then she put the candles. I said that was her 28th birthday. Her birthday is Heather's birthday candles. But there's a fetish of taking
So they're like acupuncture needles.
You take the needles, and they're sterile, and you take them and you put them in, and they do all kinds of designs and stuff, and
Good night, Memento.
Night. They lace them and stuff, and yeah, all kinds of stuff. Let me see if there's another one that I can show y'all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely, Gabby. She's so funny. Trying to hide it, but it's there.
That's how they're smoking.
Oh, you.
See, don't I look like that?
So that's Heather. Welcome,
That's Heather.
Heather.
That's Heather.
Hello.
There she is.
Mm-mm-mm.
Heather.
Yes, where is George? Dang, Heather.
There you go.
What the fuck is that?
That's her birthday mess.
Oh.
Um,
Is that butt cheeks?
no, those are boobs. She's got them pushed together.
Oh, okay.
And
you just bought those pictures?
Yeah.
I have a picture like that.
There's some that I can't really show on here, so
yeah.
I'm trying to
You can send it to our Discord.
yeah.
Could you imagine what Adair would have to say to this, Gabby?
I think that one might be okay. Oh yeah, there you go. She's got slut. So there's somebody that's tied up here. There's somebody that's tied up, and then that's Heather that has slut on her back.
Mm-hmm.
And she's there. You go, Cameron.
Munching on down. It ain't on your chin. You ain't tucking in.
Yeah, that's me. Supposedly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's me. Oh, wait a minute here. Yeah, that's me. I can't put that one on here because that one's a little much. But anyway,
if you played the blowjob through this, would it...
yeah, I can't find the thing. I saw the pictures, but I don't see the.
So people could buy any of these pictures as well.
Yeah.
And how much would they sell for?
Here you go. She said she likes masks. That's a mask. That's a whole thing with gas masks. They've got these vacuum things where you get in there and they kind of vacuum seal you in these pack things. What they call them now. It's been too long. So she did all that good stuff. There you go. But, yeah. They like all this stuff. So I was like, okay. So I pretend I do it. There you go. That's me. See, this is me. That's Heather right there.
Is there a reason why she's waiting you to have? Is it like a religious thing or just...
Is she what?
Udahef was saying that his girlfriend is still a virgin.
I
just wanted to know if it was for any particular reason or...
I can't ball. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
There you go. He's pouring wax on her tongue, hot wax, and all her tits and stuff.
So, all right. So Heather is a persona that you bought a model's photos of.
She's also actually Australian.
So would you like, if someone requested that particular picture, would you say, can you do this for me and I'll buy it off you? Or this is just
it's on my site. They can buy this. They can buy this now. It's on there now.
How did you get her to do that?
No, I bought those. I bought all her pictures.
You just had a site with a whole heap of different shit.
Yeah. No, she was selling, and she's not doing it. She didn't have a photographer. A lot of them have photographers who do it. She didn't do that as a photographer that did it. She just had her pictures and she put them out there to be sold, like kind of like a OnlyFans kind of thing.
Yep.
And then she sold the pictures, and I don't know how many people bought them, but I did. And so I got all of her
But
pictures.
that makes it more realistic looking, like that you've just taken it and sent it to
Right.
the customer. So
And so I made her. She's not Australian. She, she lives here. She's from North Carolina. I gave her. That's the one. She drives the Volkswagen Bug, or she did. She doesn't anymore. I'd have to make up another story. When I looked at it, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "My young one is now 33." Can't. I'd have to change stuff. But
so where did you find these, like, the site to buy these photos?
That's your horseplay. She did horseplay. To see the crop, there's your crop, and then there's the boots that have the hoof on the bottom. So that's part of horse.
Yep.
It says I have Heather wearing pony boots. She loved boots. Well, she loves them. She still does.
There is a lot of pressure to women have this concept of everything being perfect, and life's not like that.
Yeah.
You just got to get disappointed. So I agree. Get it out the way. Get it done. But what I said to my children, because I had two girls, that I've always had a very open and honest relationship with them, and taught them, self-respect and all the rest of it. But I said to them, your choices are your choices, and you make them and you live with that. That's fine. But it's not, sex isn't something that is bad or awful, or because, like, when I was brought up, it was taboo. Like, you couldn't talk about it. I still had a curfew at 21, and Catholic family upbringing. And I said to them, and you can choose who you're with and what you do, but just remember that if you have some feelings for that person, that makes it even better when you do decide to go down that route. So, just think about that. And so,
this right here was one of the stories that I said. I said she was part of this group that kind of did the R scenario, where she's abducted and she was taken out in the woods, and then they did kind of like a ritual thing around, and so and so that was part of that. But I say it's a club, and that everything, there's safe words and everybody knows what's going on, but you don't know when you don't know when your time is. They just come and they get you. And so I came up with the time that I did it, and these, so it happened twice. Once they took me out in the woods, once they took me to this like warehouse type thing, and I was blindfolded and I didn't know where I was, and so I made this whole thing up. So, but that's what I do. I take a picture like that, and where I can show that it happened, and they'll pay more money because they're like, they've heard me tell this story, and I'm like, yeah, I've got pictures. And they're like, you got pictures? And I'm like, yeah, but it's $25 for that picture. And they'll buy it because I've just created this whole thing that I have made. Happy butt plug. I have made real because they think of me as a real person, and these things are real. And so I'm telling them this story. And so now I've got them invested, and now they want to see a picture. You've got pictures. Yeah. So like the horseplay, I'm like, I love boots and stuff like that. And so, she's got piercings and tattoos and all that. Yeah. Not me. This is the only piece.
So I could just go and take a whole shitload of random photos and upload them to this specific site, and people can just buy them.
Yep. I'm trying to see. Yeah, there she is. She's got the handcuffs on and stuff out there. And
she's got great titties.
Yeah. Thank you. They're real. Those are real. I'm trying to, it's hard. They're so small. I'm trying to look to see, and I can't remember.
Oh.
Yeah, that was was at a BDSM party that I went to.
Uh-huh. Was it fun?
Oh yeah, I had a blast.
Oh, you dirty girl.
Yeah.
It's that look up, isn't it?
These are pictures that they these are all this is one I have as a thumbnail. Love the uniform. Thank you. That one, that's the ass play one. And that's a spanking bench, by the way, in case you
A
didn't know.
spanking bench.
Yeah, it's a spanking bench.
It looks like
You
a
sit on it and you bend over and then they just spank you.
okay.
Yeah. There you go. That's a good picture. That one, that's a thumbnail too. So
That's a
out
good
there,
one.
the people will pick those and they go, oh, okay, I want that.
Yeah.
Have 'em.
It's very what's that movie 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, that is so tame. That book is so tame. It doesn't even. This is my regular one.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We just covered a trial about
that's all.
this guy that was really sexually deviant and all like that.
Yeah,
And he was right into the defecation and the cage, treating the submissive like a dog and walking around with a collar on her neck and
I think those are only. I
absolutely
think those are the only ones that I can see. I can show y'all. The rest,
Amen.
the rest, I can't. I can't show you.
Absolutely,
Let
Carmen.
me
I
see if I can
agree.
find some of like Kelly. So see, this is
Oh,
the site. That's the
so is
site.
that your
And so you go on here and you pick who you want to talk to.
so
And
they're
so
not all yours. They are
let's
different people.
say now see, these are different than the way it used to be. They're so much better. They're a lot different. And you can see her listings. Oh, she doesn't have that many. Chat. She's cheap. She's only 99 cents. I was like, oh, she doesn't really have anything. Yeah, no.
Professor Valerie. Who else is on there?
She's not a popular one. Let me find one. Oh yeah, she's new. Yeah, see, like this person has 2,000 or 2,740, and I've got more than
Yeah,
that.
you.
I've been on there in years, a lot of years.
That's
So
how
that
many
shows
views I've
you
had.
how much. And she's on the front page. She's on the front page. This person appears new. You used to be able to bid to be able to be up, further up. I didn't see where they have that anymore, but I'm sure they do because it's a way of doing it. So you would use like fetish,
Good on you, Deb.
and all you do is see all these people are available. So you would just click on the call now button, and then it goes to what you've already put in. You've got your own little thing where you sign in. So when you click on that, it goes to your phone and it rings you. So if I'm calling the flirt, then it would call my phone. I would pick up my phone. I would click in whatever. Then it would connect to that person, and that person would say, whether she wanted to take the call or not. But yeah,
Mind fucking your sissy hole.
do what?
Sissy hole. Is that your ass? What's a sissy hole?
Oh, yeah. That's what you would call like a guy. A guy's asshole would be or like a sissy hole or a sissy pussy or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm the number one sissy click. Okay.
See, I
Cuckold.
still what was it under? I think I just put in Heather. No. There. See, I just did that, and there she is. So See, $2.99 a minute. I've got here's two of them right here. Those two pictures. 2,442, and that one's got 1,144. And I haven't been on there since 2017, I think.
Hello, come slut Heather.
Oh, here we go. There's another one of me. Oh, that one.
Bloody hell.
That one's obedience is a pleasure. Obedience is pleasure. I live to obey. That's what she's in there. There's another one on the page. That one's only 365. But yeah, these right here. On my knees and waiting for you, sir. Or
So you can still get on there and
for you.
so you're still earning money off these.
I could be. So see this person right here. She's working. I mean, she's current, and she's just 400 above me. So see, if I wanted to, I could turn this thing on, and it wouldn't take long at all because I've got so many things. But anyway,
would you go back to it?
I won't. I could, but I won't.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Just not interested, or
Well, I can't remember. I can't keep up. That was part of my thing. I could remember what they liked and what their stuff, what their fantasy was and all of that. I could remember all of that, but I can't remember it anymore. So these are Kelly's. Let me see if I can find her. I know that was listings.
someone's asking about men in cages. And
About what?
what's an OF?
OnlyFans? I would really like to know your thoughts on OnlyFans.
Okay.
It's very similar. It's more just pictures and videos and stuff like that. I mean, show men in cages too. I don't have any men because I didn't do that. And I can't get into the trans ones that I have because they took down that some of them I couldn't. Some of them it's like, well, why isn't it coming up? I might not be able to show her.
Doesn't matter.
Some of them. Well, I was hoping I could show it to you, but they're not coming up. Anyway, though some of them I went in to try and be able to see it, and because I was like, oh my gosh, I can get into that, but some of them I couldn't. Some of them was like, we've emailed you, you have to go to the email to do that. And I was like, oh well, that's great, I don't have that email anymore. So, I mean, if I really wanted to go in there, I mean, even the phone number that I have on there now, I don't even have that phone number anymore. So I'd have to go in and change the phone number and change my email and stuff. But all of those pictures and all of that stuff that I already did it's still there. And like I said, the recordings, you can go on there and get those. You can still buy all the pictures. You can still all do that. OnlyFans is a really good thing, in my opinion. It allows women to work in the sex industry without the dangers of actually meeting people in person. Yes. Yes. I was way before OnlyFans. OnlyFans is similar. I'm sure you can get the phone number, especially with the way they have, Google Voice and all the other things, but I thought about it when OnlyFans first started. I was like, well, I could go do that, and I went in and I made up a profile because I was going to put some do this on there, and then I was like, but this is now I got to go through all this stuff, and then I got to go sell all the pictures again, and I got to start off from scratch. And this one, like I said, I could go on now, and if the phone number and stuff was right, I could just click activate, just to turn it on the phone, and it would not take long at all before the phone
Yeah.
would ring.
100 grand.
Because I've already gotten, and I was looking through it earlier today, and I was like, there's some people like, I've been gone and come back. And a lot of flirts will do that. They'll go off of it for a while and then they'll come back on. So they would go back and go, oh, Heather's back. Because I've been getting emails through the whole thing. I went in there and I was like, oh my gosh, I literally got emails from flirts that I knew. Some of the guys that I would talk to, that they did it and we would just talk. I mean, we were both working, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's still doing it. Or she's still doing it. Oh my gosh. Wow. That was a long time ago and they're still doing it. So yeah.
So how much do you reckon you earned in total over the 9 years?
I bought and paid for my house. I took my daughter and I to Greece and Italy.
Paid it off,
Yeah.
like earned it.
Yeah. So like my car and my house are bought and paid for. And we went.
I've got to get a different job.
It was
good
money. It was good money, but it's easy to burn out on. And I did have multiple characters going. I would not have been able to do that with just one character. There's a lot.
How many hours a day did you dedicate to that?
I kept that phone on all the time. I kept it on all the time.
Your availability on Night Flirt was constant.
Do it.
That your availability times on Night Flirt was constant. Like
pretty much.
24/7.
The only time I took it off was if I was doing something with the kids, like, but when the kids were, as they got older, and I was like, okay, y'all, I didn't have to worry about, okay, if I'm still on a phone call, then my kids can fix their own dinner,
Mm-hmm.
So as I got older, it was easier. When they were younger, I didn't. I did it. I only did it when they were at school or at night when they were asleep. But when they were home, my phone was off. But then as they got older, I could go, okay, I'm going to go sit in the car. I took a lot of phone calls. I have a garage. I'd go in the garage, into the car. I'd sit in the car, and the kids knew if I was in the car, I was on a call.
Yeah.
And that was soundproof work. So I could say whatever and not worry about it. So if I was downstairs, I would just go into the garage. I would just go into the garage and I would leave the garage door open, like the door that goes into the house. I would leave that door open so they could see that I was sitting in the car. Like, so it wasn't like, where's mom? They could see, oh, the door is open to the garage. Mom's sitting in the car. She's on a phone call. And I would sit there. I had stuff in the car. I'd sit in there and play play with fidget things and, stuff. Sit there in the car and just talk in the car because that was like a soundproof thing. And then if I was upstairs, I would just close my door in my bedroom and I have a walk-in closet. I'd go in the closet. So that was an extra thing so that they didn't have to listen to all that. Traumatized my children. But that was just when I got older. I mean, as they got older, I was able to do that. Or I'd be in the grocery, like I said, Walmart. I took a lot in Walmart. We'd be walking the Walmart, and I'd have the phone on, and I'm like, "Oh, guys, okay." And I would tell the kids, I was like, "Okay, y'all go down there. I got to take a phone call." And they go, "Okay." And I would tell the guys. I would tell them, I would say, "Okay, I'm in Walmart." They're like, "You're in Walmart?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm in Walmart." And I'm like I'm walking down the aisle and I'm like, there's this old man. He's been following me around. And I was like, I'm just going to bend over. And I never wore any panties. And I always had these short skirts on and stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to bend over and let him see it. And and so I'm like, I'm bending over and he's just staring. And then I would say his wife. I was like, oh, there's his wife.
So it's all about storytelling. at the end of the day, really.
Yeah, or I'd be like in a food court. I was like, I'm in the food court. And you're like, you're what? No, I'm not. I'm at the grocery store or whatever. I'm in the food court. I said, I'm sitting here and there's these men that are sitting across from me. And of course, I don't have any panties on. I'm like, I'm just going to spread my legs open and let them see. They're like, do it, do it, do it. But they loved it when I said I was in public and answering the phone. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like grocery shopping or I'm at Target or whatever. I'm shopping with my kids. I've seen girls do that before. I didn't do it. I just said I did it. But
What
yeah,
do we call
girls
it?
do it. It's
The
believable.
power of the pussy.
It's believable. It's believable. But yeah, I never did any of that. I was an old lady. Well, let's see. I started when I was 43 and I did it for 9 years. So, yep.
I got to change careers.
And I haven't done it in a very long time. That's why I was like, now that I've had my Rex and stuff, I probably could have done it before my Rex. I could have gone back and done, and I just got tired. It just gets old. And so I stopped. Yes, Ash. So I just stopped. And then I thought about it a couple of times. I was like, no. And even my autistic son, the one that I adopted, he knows. He was around when I was taking calls and stuff. And so I was like, yeah, it's not real. I'm just talking. I always say, I'm just talking shit to men.
Yeah. So
Paying me to
what
say
percentage
dirty
was
stuff.
female that rang you?
Do what?
What percentage were females that called?
Oh, there's none. I mean, there's another person on YouTube who said that he was a phone sex operator and he just got calls from women, and I'm like, you're a liar. I want to kind of get into it, but I would want to do it with women. Yeah, no,
You could just
because
select
women
your
can
audience,
get it for
couldn't you?
free. Men
But
will call women for free and do it for free. You would have males calling you. Now it's the
can
one
you
that
decline the call though?
Hmm?
You can decline the call. You can choose who you accept.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you don't know. Okay, so you would be declining most of your calls, and that's stupid. So why even bother? Men are just dumb. $2.99 a minute for that. I don't think you could get women to do it. $2.99 a minute was my low. Did you pay? Yes.
So it was a registered business.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen your claimables on
No,
the tax
I
return.
was self-employed.
Dildos,
Self-employment
$60.
tax and all of that. No, but the one guy I went down there and I was like, his name was like Naughty Boy something or whatever. And it was like Naughty Boy 6969 or something like that. And I went in there and I was looking at the emails and I was like, oh my gosh, he's still doing it. And he's straight, but the majority of all of his calls are, he said, now other female flirts would call him, but that was rare. And he said, and they were all flirts because we were already on there doing it. And it was just like, okay, I'll call you, you call me kind of thing. And, but most of them were men who knew he was, his whole thing was, I'm a straight guy and you're going to be my bitch boy. And so they would call and he would just degrade them or, make them do stuff, but he was, the whole thing was he's straight. And so, but
All right.
all of his calls were men. He didn't care. He's like, I don't care. I don't care if they're gay. I don't care. Have you checked the poll?
All right. Last chance to vote in the poll in chat. It's at the top. And I'm going to end it in a couple of minutes. So get your votes in and click that like and subscribe button. That would be absolutely awesome because unlike the phone. YouTube monetization takes you have to work for nothing for a long time before you actually get any money.
Yeah. That's
Um,
another thing I can talk to you about on another day. Another day
yeah,
at
yeah,
a time is YouTube.
I'm
YouTube.
getting there. Look, I've been on for 4 months and I'm 2/3 of the
You're
way.
doing
So
good. You're doing good for only being on for 4 months.
yeah, yep. So I'm 2/3 of the way, which is good. But every like counts, every sub counts, and you're joining an amazing community here. We've got a really, really good little community. It's fun. We have a lot of fun together. So that would be great if you could do that. So at the moment, I'm about to end the poll. The poll was, have you ever called an adult fantasy hotline before? And the first answer was yes, and it was awesome. And that got 7%. Second one was yes, but it was a shit show. That was 7%.
Oh.
Third one was no, but I'm considering it. That was 7%. And the last one was no, and I never will. That was 80%. No
Well,
one.
so I want to know who called and it was a shit show,
Yeah.
because I have heard, so a lot of flirts struggle with it, or I should say, I'm just saying flirts because that's what we call the group that I worked with. And a lot of them struggled with it. There was somebody that, when I had talked about this before, somebody had said in the chat that, that they had done it and it was a horrible, horrible experience. And I can understand that. And that is all in the way that you handle things. It's just like here on the internet, you're going to have trolls. You're going to have people that say you suck. You're going to have people that say you've got the worst channel in the world. And I'm like, okay, well, thank you for coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I've had people say that I have a terrible voice and all of that stuff on my YouTube channel. And I'm like, well, I have made lots of money with my voice, so it's not that.
Yeah.
Answer the poll. I've never called and never will. A lot of people are like that, and I just understand.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Heather. So the problem was with this person, when people were saying things to her, or were doing things or wanting things that she was offended by or didn't understand or whatever. And people will say, call you a bitch or a whore or whatever. I mean, I was called a whore and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I kind of am. I'm a phone whore. I'm a phone whore because you're paying me to make noises on the phone.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But it is on how the flirt takes it, and that person just didn't. I was like, well, first of all, I don't think she did it long enough to get past that thing where she realized, okay, wait a minute, they don't know me. They're not saying this to me. They're saying this to this character that I'm portraying. And that's another thing about when you are yourself on there. Like I was not those 17 people. So I wasn't ever offended because I could go, yeah, okay. For one, you're giving me money. And two, you're not talking to me. You're talking to this person who I created. So, okay, whatever. But when you are on there and you have these cam girls and you have the people on OnlyFans or whoever, who are themselves, and there's lots, not everybody.
They're quite young and they don't know how to distance themselves from, the character in real life.
Yeah, then you have somebody who says, oh, you're fat, or I don't like your hair, or, you're ugly, or whatever. They're going to say it because they can, and they're paying to say it.
Haters be hating.
Yeah, they're paying you. So they're just going to do that. And if you can't handle it, and a lot of people will start to, once you hear it over and over and over again, because I can't even tell you how many times people called just to put me down. I'm like, okay. once you hear it a lot, it just gets, it starts to bother you if you can't put yourself out of it.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I would never, well, first of all, I would never put myself out there, because never, ever, ever would I want my children to say, have somebody come up and say, hey, I saw a picture of your mom.
Do you know if your kids have ever gotten onto the site and had a look, or?
Oh, there are zero pictures, zero, absolutely zero, nada pictures of me with showing parts of me.
No, but have they been on and have listened to any of the audio, or?
There is not one person on the planet that has a picture of that, nor would they want one. But I got thousands of pictures of these other women, and if they want to do that, that's fine. I mean, that's fine. And they sold them, and I bought them, and they knew they knew when they sold it what it was going to be used for. Kelly was actually on. She's Polish. She was actually on Howard Stern's. She was actually on the Howard Stern show. Yeah.
What is that?
She was riding, was it called a Sibian? I think it's called. You sit on it, and he was controlling the thing. Yeah, she was riding on that.
What's a Sibian?
Yeah, it's kind of like a horse, like a horse kind of thing. It's just you
With
sit on
attachment.
it. I mean, there's not a head or anything. I mean, it's just a thing, and then in the middle of it, you have a nice dildo on it, and then it vibrates, and it has a controller on it, and he was controlling the vibration of the
Like the
and try and see how long you can stay on it without
Ah,
yeah. And so she did that.
I had a friend try and sell me one of those.
Did you buy it?
Aren't they like $3,000?
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah, he's got it in his shed, sitting there waiting. He's like, "Yeah, get on it."
Sitting there waiting. Put that thing to use, girl.
Yeah, I should.
She was on his show doing that, and I've got that video. And I was like, I'll never show that video because she's Polish. So these girls, they know when they put it out there. It's just like if you go on OnlyFans and you're selling your pictures, okay, you sold it, so you don't now know what they're going to do with that picture.
Yeah,
and that could picture 20, 30 years down, and your kids are in high school, and their buddies are coming and saying, hey, look what I found. I do not have to ever worry about my kids. This person it's not on the internet anywhere.
Yep.
Nowhere. But no, it was very interesting. It was perfect for the time in my life that I did it. When I got tired of doing it and I just didn't want to do it anymore, then I just didn't turn on the phone anymore. And I didn't say anything to anybody. I didn't make up any excuses. I just like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to do it right now. And I kept thinking, I can always go back. I can always go back and do it. I can, I like right now, I could go on there and I could turn it back on and go right back to it. But I would.
Family know?
No. My children know, but my parents, they didn't know. My sister,
They didn't question where the money came from?
No, I just said that I worked for a phone call service.
Not lying.
Nope. I worked at home, which I did. I had my laptop, and I was like, yep. I said, I'm on call. When the call comes through, I just I work for a phone call service. They never asked me anything. I said that. They're like, okay, that was it. They knew I worked all holidays, always worked holidays, because especially like during Christmas and stuff, because that is when people get really, really lonely
Mhm.
and then they just want somebody to talk to. And so I'm available. I'm
Oh, well, good
available.
on you. Kudos to you.
Yeah. I mean, it was good. I had some really like there's two in Australia that I was super close with, as far as one thought I was
Flirts.
Heather.
Or-
One thought I was Heather, and the other one thought that I was Kelly. And I talked to them for the whole 9 years. The one that thought it was Kelly, I mean, there was this cheese that he liked here that was like a dip. And I would go and buy all the cheese stuff and send him a care package. He would
Aw.
pay me. He would pay me to go to the store and get this cheese dip stuff and then mail it to me. So I mean,
There's no boundaries, is there? It's like anything, you could go anywhere.
yeah.
with
So I
it.
mean,
Endless.
it was simple stuff. It was chit chat, and it was, hey, how was your day? It was a lot of that. Now, yeah, there was all that sex stuff too, but at the end of the day, it was two people who would talk
Mhm.
about stuff. That was the other thing.
And they were both consenting, and it was hurting nobody.
Well, a lot of it was they have these things going through their head, and they can't say it to their buddies.
Mhm.
So who are you going to say it to? I can't say it to my girlfriend or my wife, or I ain't going to say it to my buddy. What buddy am I going to say? Yeah, I like sitting around in a diaper, or I like torturing myself. I want some woman to torture it. They'd be going, "You dude, you're out of your mind. Are you crazy?" So who are you going to say these things to? Or
Mm.
like the guys who just want to vent and just say horrible things to the female, degrading and all of that stuff. Who's going to just
Well,
like,
that could actually even, potentially save someone from becoming a victim.
yes. Yeah, I mean, they can say whatever they want. They can
Mm.
say whatever they want. We can role play whatever fantasy you want, because all I'm going to do is tell you a story and describe it. Is any of this happening? No.
No.
None of it's happening. None of it's real. Um, the worst things were me telling them to go put on some panties, take a picture. If that is the worst thing,
You're going to look at every judge differently from now on, that's for sure.
it was one, because he said, okay, so the dude said he was, and I'm like, yeah, okay, right. Like, I believe anything that anybody says on here. I don't. And so he was saying that, and I'm thinking, sure, sure, sure. And so I was like, okay, I want you to wear whatever panties it was. And I said, and when you get asked, I want a picture. I want to see a picture of you with your robe on. And he was like, no, mistress, don't make me do it. And I was like, yes, you have to. And so it was like 3 days later, I got that picture, and I was like, holy shit.
So a judge who's in the ultimate control power position was a submissive.
Do what?
So the judge who's your ultimate power control, he was a submissive.
Yeah, see, and if you think about it, it's somebody who has a lot of power and has a very stressful job with all this power. And that's not who, when it comes to the sexual part of himself, that's not what he wants. He wants the opposite. He wants to not have any in control. That's the whole, BDSM, like she was saying, the bondage and all of that stuff. That is a release. It's like, okay, I don't have any control. I don't have to think about anything. I don't have to say anything. I'm just doing what I'm told.
Yeah, you like power women, Heath.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot of just mental stuff, and that is one thing that, like, only fans or phone sex stuff or whatever, it's never going to go away. And that's because it is a great it's a great escape. It's a place where you can go and you can share your fantasies and you can say whatever, and nobody's there is going to judge you.
Yep.
Nobody's going to say anything. There is not anything that anybody can say to me that I haven't already heard. That's why, say whatever. I'm like, okay, well, I might not know what it's called anymore because names change and stuff.
Yeah.
But the stories that I've heard and the things that I have, I mean, there are so many things. I mean, I didn't even touch on the amount of things. I mean, there's wrestling. That's, tights, different kinds of cloth, just feelings. Like the one guy likes vinyl, and then, or the balloons, the latex stuff. That's why people wear those latex suits or vinyl stuff. The people that get into those vacuum things or the masks, all of this stuff is, a lot of sensory. There's a lot of sensory stuff. That's why it's like with the bondage stuff, you can bound somebody and you use things like, I can't even remember what it's called. It's a wheel. It's got the pin thing. It's what you use when they're trying to see if you have lost sensation in your feet or whatever. And they just roll it on you to see if you're paralyzed or whatever. It's something wheel. I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, you use those things. And then you use a feather. Or you use cold and then you use hot, like the wax, and then you put ice. So, I mean, it's a lot of sensation stuff. It's a lot of mental thing. I think jelly wrestling would be fun. Jello wrestling. Yeah, I had one guy, he loved tights. And he just wanted to talk about tights. He wanted me to wear tights while we were talking to him. So, of course, I said, oh, sure, let me open up my drawer. And he'd hear me open up the drawer and rustling through stuff. And then I'd say, okay, I'm going to put it. And then I would just take my pants thing and pop it so he could hear. He just wanted to hear the sound. And so then we would just talk. But he thought I was sitting there in tights, and he would talk about the feeling of the tights, rubbing your legs together in the tights. And I know he was sitting there talking to me while he was wearing those tights, but I didn't care. Okay, she knows that I'm wearing these tights and she's okay with it. And then he would talk about wrestling, and he wanted me to watch, and we would wrestle, and I would talk about, oh, and you're doing this, and, oh, I love the way you just pin him. And so he would tell me what he was doing, and I would be rooting him on, all while he was wearing his leotards and stuff. But, who's that hurting? Nobody.
Yeah,
Nobody.
exactly.
But would you tell your buddy that? No. No, you wouldn't. But people will say, well, I'm embarrassed. And I'm like, who am I going to tell?
Mm-hmm.
Who am I going to tell? And when they realize that, they're like, well, you're right.
And they don't, even if you did tell, that they don't know who you are anyway. So
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I was like, you can tell me whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. I don't care. You can tell me whatever it is. I mean, there's so many things. Like people with, but I had a whole television show about it, about, the guy who was in love with his car. I mean,
I saw that.
Yeah,
What?
I mean, that's the thing.
A bumper and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's a thing. Or like the dolls and the, robots and all that. Oh, that was another thing. People wanted to be robots. And so I had to pretend like they were my robot. Okay. So there's so many.
Yeah.
I will say, yeah, I told you, I had a confession line where they would just call and confess that, whatever.
That would be popular.
Yeah, it was just a confession line, and that cost, I think it was like either $5.99 or $6.99 a minute. She had to pay me $6 a minute to call and confess. And I didn't say anything. I just answered the phone and say, so what would you like to confess? What would you like to confess to me? And they're like, well, I really don't want to say. And I was like, well, why did you call? You can tell me anything. And then they would, and of course, I would want them to draw it out, and I would ask questions, and I would,
And issue a punishment.
oh yes, always, you have to have a punishment. That's why they're calling. And it was usually like writing lines or, wearing a certain.
Hail Marys.
Yeah, it depended on the person. When they were calling me, by the time as I'm listening to them in their confession, I could kind of figure out what it is that they're into, and then I could make a punishment to go with that.
Yeah, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
I would tell them you can't have sex. You can't touch it. That was you can't touch it at all. You can't touch it at all for a week. And they're like, well, how am I going to get to the bathroom? I was like, I guess you're sitting down. I guess you're sitting down. Well, I have to shower. I was like, well, you're just gonna have to take that water and hope it gets up underneath there for a week. You can't touch it for a week. I'm sorry. All you men out there, know there ain't no way in hell you can't touch it for a week.
No, not at all.
There's no way.
You feel like you have so much fun.
There is no man on the planet that isn't going to be able to touch it for a week.
All right, my lovely.
Sit down. Just sit down.
We've been here for over 3 hours.
Well, it is time. It is time to say goodnight.
It is, and I'm sorry. Thank you
Is there
so
anybody
much.
that has any other questions?
Yeah, and if you can, I think you can still put in the chat once the stream's down, can't you? You can still put comments. Is that right?
Yeah, or they can put it in the comment section once it.
Yeah, and I can check it. And so if anyone wants like a follow-up stream or anything like that, yeah, pop them in the comments once the stream's down and let me know if you want some more content like this. We can absolutely.
There's so much.
Yeah.
If there's like
the surface.
Even if there's just like something that y'all just want, like if it's just like BDSM or whatever.
Specialist. Yep.
There's
so
I was like, I wrote a bunch of stuff down here so that I wouldn't forget. I think I got it on there. People they like listening to you walk around in high heels. So I would have high heels and I would just walk around in my kitchen. I just want to hear me walk. Okay.
You didn't scare anyone, Ashnada, not at all. This is it's an open, as I said, it's an open, frank discussion, and
no, they know. Ash and Mel's heard all this stuff before. Hey, Mel, you might have heard some news stories, and I don't remember how much. I don't know how much you've heard, Ash, because you disappeared there for a little bit, so I don't know what all you've heard, but I know Mel's heard it. Mel knows. Mel's probably heard a little bit more tonight because there's some things that I haven't said. Tanya says you need to need links to sell your panties. That is huge.
Can we just Google it?
Go on OnlyFans and just sell panties.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Sweet.
Well, I don't see any questions. Everybody else is saying it's all good. All right. Well, it was nice.
Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
It was awesome.
I hope y'all learned some things.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
I have retired my fillet knife, so y'all have to work with that. Oh yeah. You have to say Heather. I love you, Heather.
Bye, Jodie.
I love you.
Thank you for your help, Gabby, Miss Moderator of the universe. And Carmen, I need your YouTube username to mod you. I can't do it otherwise. So Discord me. All right. Thank you for everyone for joining us. Thank you for chat. Thank you for replay crew. Thank you, Heather. You're a legend. Thanks for joining us. And
You're welcome.
yeah, it was fun. It was a blast. We will be
Memories.
back with Defence Rests and AJ on Monday at, what did she say? I think it was 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we've got a couple of things planned, ready to go. So we will be back Monday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
With your
All right.
regular
With our
schedule
regular-
programming.
Correct. All right. Well, it was a pleasure having you, sweetheart. And thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, well, I love
And,
y'all. Anytime.
Yay. Yay. We love that. All right. Good night, all. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we shall see you on Monday.
Night.
Ta-da. Bye.